The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is risk-free same-game parlay Thursday night football. Thursday, November 4th, and this show begins right now. Yeah! Shout out to Twine to that beat drop. Shout out to you listening on Sirius XM Channel 82 Mad Dog Sports Radio, or watching along at youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. A lot of things popping off in our world, and we dabble into a different world today. Mm-hmm. Now, we have a risk-free same-game parlay that is destined to hit, because what we've been doing in this same-game parlay department over the last couple weeks, we've been getting fucked.
That's right. Big time.
Injuries, gimmicky kneel downs minus in a yard off of the rush yards we should have hit 3 weeks ago. This shouldn't even be a conversation, but what has happened in the past does not dictate what will happen tonight. Tonight, when the stupid Jets take a flight to Indianapolis and play in Lucas Oil Stadium against this Indianapolis Colts team that's a wounded dog, a caged animal. Somebody that's fighting for their lives at every single scrap. We have a same-game parlay tonight that's going to hit, and we're all going to win. And it's plus 1,000 something, so we're going to take millions and millions of dollars from FanDuel tonight, and I can't wait to enjoy it, as I will be in the house.
In the house.
Whoa. I will be motivating. I will be yelling. I will be hopefully sending all the positive juju to who we need to get what done. And what we need to get done at plus 1,007 or something like that is we need Carson Palmer to throw for over 225 yards.
Yeah, we do.
We need Jonathan Taylor to score 2 touchdowns. We need Michael Pittman Jr. to have a big-time night.
Come on now.
With T.Y. Hilton out, Michael Pittman Jr. has become the guy. Last season as a rookie, he had 2 catches for 1 yard and a half a touchdown. Yep, right. Carson Wentz gets traded to the Indianapolis Colts and says, hey, how about that number 11? You know, I've always been number 11. I was almost MVP. They're paying me $100 million. You're a rookie last year. You're only going in your second year. You're good. You're great. But you haven't really been there. How about the number 11? Michael Pittman Jr. says, nah, dog. What I'm about to do this year in the number 11, you won't even be able to touch. Go find a new fucking number, quarterback. And at that time, I said, who the hell is this guy? Yeah. Why does this guy think that he can even come close to saying that to the guy that is going to be responsible for feeding him, which in turn feeds his family? Why wouldn't you just say, yeah, dude, take it, whatever you got to do, and move to your next number? And I think it's because old Pittman Jr. knew what the fuck was about to happen.
Oh, yeah.
This dude is a stud. This dude is a star player, and tonight we need him to go over 70 yards. We need Jonathan Taylor to score 2 touchdowns. We need the Colts to win by 6 or more. The actual spread's 10.5. What do they know? I have no idea. With Carson Wentz as a quarterback, you're obviously going to ask the question, what's going to happen? But tonight, with Jonathan Taylor, the AFC Offensive Player of the Month, running the rock and catching the ball, we're destined to win, and tonight it'll happen for all of us. Tonight, we ride.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
That should be a lot of fun. I can't wait for that. But also, in like 9 minutes, we'll dabble outside of our world, and we'll talk to a baseball player.
Whoa. Hey. David Ortiz?
No, not Big Papi.
A-Rod?
No, not
Alex Rodriguez.
Yeah, Alex Rodriguez, not J-Lo's.
Yeah. Chipper
Jones.
Kendall.
Chipper Jones, no, not big old dip having Chipper Jones.
Sammy Sosa?
No. Sammy's not coming on the show.
Come on.
Neither's Mark McGwire. I know that's potentially next year. Those two kind of go hand in hand. Barry Bonds in here, but you know who's going to be here?
Who's that?
Jason
right here
Kendall?
it says. Nope, Jason Kendall. Listen, if Jason Kendall wants to come on in 8 minutes, I will cancel this person.
Okay.
But that's the only person I would cancel this person for is Jason Kendall. Dansby Swanson.
Oh,
Let's go. right here. Dansby Swanson, World Series champion. And the Toxic Table is here at Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor. Tone Diggs is here, the host of Hammer Dahn, a gambling podcast that goes live 15 minutes after this show ends every single day at youtube.com/Hammer Dahn. And also the boys behind the glass, you're all doing fantastic. Appreciate you guys. Let's win that fucking same game.
Here we go, boys. Yeah.
Cool. Joining us in studio, a sockless stooge, the voice of the WWE. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Cole!
Guys, appreciate it.
Hey,
thank you.
No, thank you for joining us. Obviously, SmackDown is in Evansville, Indiana.
Yeah, great metropolis tomorrow. Can't wait for that.
Hell yeah.
Listen,
I got a note in my email that says I can't even park at the building. There's no parking, so I have to park at a hotel across the street.
And then walk over. Yeah, I mean, I got that. You forwarded that email to me as well. Evansville is in southern Indiana. It's like a 3-hour drive. Yeah. You and I had talked about this for the last couple of weeks. Maybe you fly in here, surprise the boys, stay in Indy, drive down in the morning. It worked perfectly. The boys had no idea. When you walked in here, everybody's like, holy shit, Michael Cole.
Michael Cole. I actually got an ovation. I couldn't believe it.
And then they immediately said, oh, he's dressed like an asshole.
Yeah, you look like a clown.
This is my normal dress. You see me every Friday night in a suit. That's the one day a week I dress up. I wear sweatpants, flip-flops, and a hoodie around the clock.
I love that. I appreciate that. Living that retired life. And I do call you a suit stooge all the time.
Yep.
Literally, because the only time I ever see him
wearing a suit,
he's in a suit at all times.
Stooge.
But then I guess I seen you that one time whenever we were at that sports bar where they turned off all the Thursday night football games.
Yes.
In Ontario, California.
I was in sweats that night too.
He was dressed like an asshole. I remember saying, "Oh my God, you're dressed like an asshole right now." And this is me wearing a tank top saying this or whatever. And then now so you just live that retired life.
Pretty much, yeah.
But you're working all day every day.
Yeah, I worked.
That's what I feel like.
24/7, just like you do. But listen, I go to work on Fridays to work on television. I work out of my house, so I dress like this. This is me.
Well, you've always been very cool to us, to me, to everybody ever since we began, and I know you're a big sports fan. So the fact that the Jets are in town, which is your team.
By the way, the Colts have one more win than the Jets do. By the way, the Colts have 3 wins. The Jets have 2. And I'm just letting you guys know that the Colts.
He's a Patriots fan. That's why he was yelling at you before.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the Colts.
No,
that's my bad.
He was coming at you as
my bad.
As the Colts.
It was a Colts Jets conversation happening,
and then out of the blue, he starts screaming about 4 wins. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I hate the Jets, and we beat the bag out of them twice.
Well,
we beat
you
you guys by 41. Cole, your team stinks.
But you started talking shit as a Colts fan in the conversation you were having, and you were clearly using Patriots stats. Nonetheless, it wasn't on the air, so nobody has a clue what we're talking about.
Exactly.
But there was a little bit of a misunderstanding there. The Colts are the win-loss record is not indicative of the team that they have, though.
Carson Wentz may be worse than Mike White.
Whoa.
What is this? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Dude.
Hey.
This guy's electric.
What are you trying to calm everybody down?
I'm just saying.
Cooler heads need to prevail. Are you kidding me?
Mike White is way better than Carson Wentz.
Mike White is about to throw 6 picks tonight. What are we even talking about?
Carl Wentz makes some plays that even you know is like, holy shit, that belongs in Pee Wee football.
But then he makes some plays, and it's like, holy shit, that guy's the best football player of all time. He bounced the ball off the ground, threw it into quadruple coverage, and made a big-time completion.
To our guy Pittman.
Tell me if Mike White's doing that. Answer, no.
Hey, I will say this. I've been a Jets fan. I'm 55 years old. And
you don't look at that. Hey,
so thank you.
Their feet, I mean, what the fuck? But
Thank you. And I just got a manicure, too. So
nice.
Well, that would be
and a pedicure, actually.
Yeah, come on.
But Jets fan for 50 years.
Okay.
And Dad had season tickets when they started out with the Titans and then moved on. Long story short, last Sunday, and I was texting you during the game, this was top 5 all-time memories of the Jets game, watching Mike White perform last week. It was incredible. Jesus. Listen, we don't have much at all. We don't have much.
Is that real? Top 5 in 50 years?
How many?
Sad state of affairs.
It is a sad state of affairs. I've been a Jets fan. They suck. Listen, I get that. We won a Super Bowl in 1969 when I was 3 years old.
Do you remember any of it? No, absolutely.
No, not at all. My first Jet memory, honest to God truth, was Shea Stadium. My dad had season tickets, 1973. And, of course, it wasn't a Jets memory. I was there the day that O.J. Simpson went over 2,000 yards, which at the time was a record.
Maybe you guys could have tackled him a little
and,
bit.
But long story short about White
Maybe
is...
he wouldn't have got as egotistical.
How many times does someone throw over 400 yards in their first start of their NFL career?
Yeah, I don't think it has. And
Cam Newton.
Cam was the only one.
I didn't know that. And then in 330 games as Jets organization.
Since Vinny Testaverde. Yes.
So you guys stink. Why? So you
Horrible.
the fanhood though seems like Fireman Ed. I guess he quit for a few years, but the Jets have maintained a fan base, right? And then now you potentially have a guy who's probably going to get exposed tonight to this Indianapolis Colts defense. I mean, Mike White might be a guy. Hey, I might be completely wrong. I love him.
If he completes 4 passes tonight, I'll be happy.
Why is that?
Because I just think last week was just, nobody was prepared for it and nobody was expecting it.
Including him.
Listen, the guy got cut 4 times by the Jets last year. So,
Revenge game.
There's a reason for it.
Against the Jets.
Against his own last week.
Last
Makes
week
sense.
was a revenge game against the organization that cut him 4 times.
Yes.
Do you have any hope for Zach Wilson at this point after watching what Mike White was able to do in the same offense?
Let's not kid ourselves. Zach Wilson's the future. They're paying him a lot of money. The kid's very talented. I think, though, the injury.
He stinks, you think? You think he stinks?
No, I think the injury is the best thing that happened to him. I think sitting down for a couple of weeks and watching everything transpire and getting a handle of the offense, he was way over his head. And I think now it gives him an opportunity to sit back. Listen, if White continues to win and continues to throw up great numbers, you just keep playing him. You keep playing him until he crashes, then you bring the kid back in. But at this point in time, ride the wave, have fun. Why do you keep looking at my feet? They can't see, but you continue to look at my feet. I don't understand why. They're feet and flip flops.
I don't know how the camera angle is on that thing, but from my angle, 3 of them were stacked on top of each other. All right, and it's disgusting. But everything that's coming out of your mouth is so good. That was a very logical Jets take right there.
Made sense.
That was a very good Jets take, which
Thank
we don't
you.
do a lot.
See, I just don't talk about sports entertainment.
Ever. Yeah, well, sports entertainment you crush. I mean, you have to balance
Thank
it.
you.
But you are a natural, Jets, obviously, you grew up in there, but your passion in the sports world was baseball.
Baseball.
Right? Always has been.
No doubt.
And so you like the Jets, they stink. You like baseball, it stinks. You like the Mets, though, of the baseball, they've stunk.
Mets, yes. Yep.
So you just enjoy, what is it about baseball?
I'm a New York fan. I was brought up in New York, so I'm a Knicks fan, too. So that's been a horrible decade before this year and last year. So
we had a guy get a yellow card last night at the Knicks-Pacers game. He yelled at the ref too much. He got an NBA warning card. That's real.
Oh, yeah. Really?
Yeah.
In this office, as a Knicks fan, wearing a Knicks jersey, Patrick Ewing shoes, Bruce Brown, yelling at the ref, accosting the ref. He was one section back, so he's yelling over people's heads, and it's quiet in there, and it's echoing through. Somebody from an NBA league official had to come over and issued him a warning and sat him down and said, "Next time you're out of here."
That's right.
I don't think it's slowed him down.
I would have left the way the Pacers are playing.
I don't even know who won. The Pacers
won.
Pacers.
Oh!
Yeah,
Let's
They
go.
win shit out of the Knicks.
TJ McConnell's a fucking ball player.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Scrappy.
But whenever you think about baseball and you saw how the World Series ended, and you're a diehard baseball fan, you literally watch baseball. Like you actually watch it. I don't know how anybody. That's awesome. By the way, it's awesome. He watches full games though, not just goes through the highlights.
It's difficult though, as things changed after the home run race with McGuire and Sosa. Baseball really changed over the last 20 years. As a kid growing up, it was an unbelievable sport. I mean, there was so much strategy involved. People actually stole bases. Pitchers went 9 innings. You had a couple of relief pitchers on the team. Now it's just
Analytics, you think? Is it all analytic based?
It's all analytic based.
But there's still some great stories. For instance,
There are.
The Atlanta Braves winning the World Series is fucking huge,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's big for baseball as a whole, right? Because TBS, even as a child who grew up in Pittsburgh, sell the team.
Well, it was also
Sell the team.
the entire year was a celebration of Hank Aaron, who died earlier this year. Probably the greatest Brave ever to play the game. So the fact that they won the World Series, capping off the celebration of Henry Aaron, arguably the greatest ball player of all time, was just an incredible story. And the fact that this team back in July lost Ron Acuna, who's one of the greatest players in baseball today, and still go on to win the World Series is absolutely incredible.
Well, and that's because of men like the man who will be joining us right now. And thank you for making it appear as if this show does have some sort of baseball knowledge there, Michael Cole, because everything you just said could have been said by us over time, and we just failed to do so, which is obviously on us. We need to be better hosts. whenever covering it. But I did get a chance to learn about one particular player from the Atlanta Braves over the last few hours here. Once I learned this man was coming on the show, it came out of nowhere, by the way. Pretty excited about it. And he's an absolute stud. Cut a promo after Game 4. Game 4, by the way, I don't remember what inning. It was late. Hits a game-tying home run. Then he gets interviewed about coming back home to Georgia. And he never expected it. He was a Diamondback. He got traded out of nowhere. Die-hard Falcons fan. Die-hard Hawks fan. Now he's playing for the hometown. He's from
Met killer.
Met killer. Everybody seems to be that. But this dude is electrifying. Then obviously in the World Series winning game, hits another dong shot. Ladies and gentlemen, shortstop for the Atlanta Braves, Dansby Swanson. Yay! What's up, dude?
How y'all doing?
How have you been doing? You pretty good? Is it much similar to the other sports whenever you win? You've been on one here, huh? Yeah?
Oh, I'm exhausted, dude. I played 193 games this year, like including spring training. So I'm just like spent, really.
Yeah, emotionally as well. And I'd assume after that incredible long marathon of a season, and then it ends with such a high point, I'd assume the celebration that comes after that is maybe wearing off at this point a little later in the week, and I'm assuming there's a parade coming or whatever. But at what point do you get over the length of the season? 193 games, that is so many games. You guys are rock stars on the road every single day. At what point do you kind of like get away and get back into it now? Have you even thought about that? Does it change as you get older?
So, this year was different because last year, obviously, we had like the sprint of a year. We played 60 games in the regular season, then you went right into the postseason. You were in a bubble. They kind of changed the playoff format, so it was way different than any of the previous years. But this year, you go back to the full 162, you add in spring training. I played, I think, 17 games in spring and then another 16 in the playoffs. So, it absurd. Like, I don't think people realize, like, we play 162 games in 180 days, and
what a joke.
Like, what I think people don't realize that how much that is, but then you also add in the fact of, like, we'll fly from Atlanta all the way out to LA and play the next night. Like, you won't get a day off. You know, like, that's what people don't see. Like, we'll get into a hotel at 4 in the morning and have a game that next night at 7. It's not like it's not like, oh, you get let you get your bearings together. Like, no, like, it's grind time. You know, like you're ready to go.
Well, somehow your team got better late, right? Like, I'm not 100% sure if I know the entire story. Michael Cole, who's an avid baseball fan, voice of the WWE, is going to ask you a question here momentarily that I think is absolutely incredible. But how do you manage fatigue in the body? Because obviously, Game 4 of the World Series, you hit a bomb. Then obviously in this Game 6 there, you hit another one. How do you maintain strength and fatigue? Is that just something? How do you guys do it? Because you see some baseball players, by the way, right? I mean, there's a couple out there that are, okay, they don't care about physical health much. It just seems like they're here to do their thing. Then it seems like there's probably people that are over the top, like super duper, every meal scripted out. How do you maintain through that long of a? That's 6 months, right? I mean, that's a fucking long time.
Well, obviously, you know, like you get after in the off season so that you can withstand like a 162, right? To be able to be in shape. And it's not necessarily like, you know, my girlfriend would give me a hard time because she could run laps around me, you know, when it comes to like actual conditioning.
Yeah, you guys don't run ever.
She plays professional soccer.
I mean, she runs marathons for fun.
Yeah. She enjoys the run part of it, and I'm like so out on the run. You know, like I'm like I'll meet me in the weight room. I'll do my deadlifts. I'll do my trap bar stuff. Like, I'm cool with that. But anything that we start getting the cardio up, I got to get like forced to do it.
How about a shortstop there? Hey, how about a shortstop there? You got to be quick, right? That's something where you got to be quick. How do you train for that specifically? Is that something? Because that's a position where stuff happens, right?
Oh yeah.
A lot of stuff happens at shortstop.
A lot of it. Baseball instincts are a big part. Like just some of the reaction stuff is the anticipation of like knowing what's going to happen before it happens. So that's part of it. But when it comes to training for it, I mean, obviously you do some different like footwork things and some different reactionary stuff that kind of just sharpens that skill and kind of keeps it locked in. But honestly, the thing about baseball that's so unique is the only way to get better at it is to actually do it. Like, if you want to get better at taking ground balls, like, your footwork, I'm just a big believer in taking ground balls. Like, do all the ladder drills you want. Ain't nobody pulling a ladder out at shortstop and you do a ladder drill and then you catch a ball. Like, nobody does that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of, like, doing the real thing. So yeah, that's just kind of my style.
Hey,
but
it's working.
When it comes to 162, everyone's got their own thing. I'm not a believer in like being super strict, because I feel like, especially like if you stress yourself out because you're trying to be so on point, that's not going to help either. But if you do absolutely nothing, then that's not going to help. Like, you find the moderation of knowing when and what to eat at certain times, like knowing, okay, you know, I've kind of let it loose here for a week. Like, I need to kind of lock it back in for a week. You know, I've had a few too many beverages the past week. I need to kind of tone down for a week. Like, there's a mix and a balance of it. You make sure you go in the weight room and kind of get a few lifts in, you know, on certain game days and stuff like that. So yeah, you just kind of utilize all the resources that you can.
It's a full lifestyle. And speaking of food and treating yourself, this leads to a great question from the voice of the WWE.
Hey, Dansby, congratulations, by the way.
Congrats, Dansby.
Thank you.
Congrats,
So I'm a Mets fan, and you guys broke our heart. Obviously, we were in first place for much of the year, and then typical New York style, we collapsed. But tell me about you guys, because you guys tread water for much of the season. I mean, until after the All-Star break, when you started to get hot a little bit. And I heard a story, and I want to know if this is true, that it all sort of went your way when you guys went to Fenway to play the Red Sox in an interleague game, and you guys noticed that there was an ice cream machine for the players. And you guys went back to Atlanta, and you had Freddie Freeman, your first baseman, lobby your general manager to put a soft serve ice cream machine in the clubhouse. And that started the winning streak and sent you guys to the World Series. Is there truth to that story?
Huh?
So there is massive truth when it comes to
Here we go.
Boston's the only place that has the soft serve ice cream machine. And so, like, because we go there usually once a year, once every couple of years. And, like, that's what everyone's looking forward to. It's not playing in Fenway. It's the ice cream machine. Oh, yeah. And so we lobbied for it. We got back home. We're like, listen, this is going to bring the boys together, all right? If we get an ice cream machine and I get my magic shell, you know, chocolate shell thing that can go in the ice cream, I'm going to be locked in for these games. So, sure enough, we were able to, you know, Freddie pulled his weight around a little bit and was like, hey, we're going to get an ice cream machine. And that kind of started, I wouldn't say that necessarily brought the winning streak, but that got everybody going in the right direction. We were all on board after we got the ice cream machine. Now that we want it all, our next thing that we want is a margarita machine.
Yeah,
there you
that's
go.
The next
Hey,
thing.
Did you guys have those little helmets, the baseball helmets?
Oh, we got them.
Oh, you got it. So you put the little soft serves in there and all that? That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Hey, let's talk about not just the margarita machine. It feels like you guys could probably make a lot of requests. You need to do that now, too, as we're hung over with celebration here. You know what I mean? You guys need to have, hey, we like the margarita machine as well, Dyer. Nacho.
Right.
Nacho bar, maybe you need a little bit of that. Because it sounds great that your team and ownership, it seems like, is all like, hey, okay, let's go ahead and do that. And I know you got traded from the Diamondbacks over to Atlanta, and you said it was surprising. I think if I listened to the interview you did after Game 4 of the World Series, which was awesome, by the way, you fucking crushed that. You should feel very good
WWE-like.
It was
Yep.
kind of promo-esque. It was incredible. It was very babyface, wasn't it?
Yes,
I mean,
it
you went
was.
through the entire story and then the whole thing there. Yeah, it was great fucking promo.
Just real, man. I mean, it's funny. It's like people talk about that interview, but like I've always been a man of like truth and honesty, and that's just like that's what it felt. You know, like that's what it felt like. Like the emotions were, you know, I'm an Atlanta lifer. Like I keep saying that, and I obviously I grew up here, but like I'm always ATL. Like in everything I do, like I'm all Atlanta rap music. Like I'm huge in all the Atlanta scene that you can think of. Like that's what I love, and it just kind of came out that way, you know, and very truthfully. But the crazy story, I'll tell you. So when I got traded, I'd played maybe 20 games in the minor leagues with Diamondbacks. Like this was fresh out of getting drafted by Arizona. I was in Nashville because I went to Vandy, so I was in Nashville for the off season, and I was at dinner with a bunch of like Nike executives because the winter meetings for baseball were being held in Nashville. So they were in town. They wanted to go to dinner. So we're downtown Nashville at a nice dinner. sitting there having great conversation, and my phone is blowing up, like blowing up, and I'm not going to be that guy and pull my phone out at dinner. Like, that's just rude anyways. But I'm not going to do it with these guys, especially.
Yeah.
And so one of them was like, hey, I need to go to the bathroom or whatever, and I saw one of them pull their phone out, and I was like, okay, maybe this is like the time to just check to see like what's going on. The first text I read was, is it true? And that's the worst text you can get. You're like, I don't know what you're referring to. And usually that's not a good thing. Like, is it true? Like, what, am I getting arrested? I haven't done anything, but you don't know.
Yeah.
So then I found out that same guy sends me a screenshot from Twitter that I had gotten traded. And that's pretty much how I found out. Because my agents, they were in a big meeting with a bunch of different teams on one of their really big free agents they had at the time. And so like they weren't aware either. Like nobody was aware. And then all of a sudden everyone's phone's getting blown up because, you know, I was getting traded. And it was just it was like a shock.
Let me let me run through this real quick, just so I can go back, because I don't know baseball that well. I do know that like Pat White was quarterback at West Virginia. He got drafted like 3-4 different times because everybody thought they'd have his naming rights at least whenever he was done with baseball. And I think it happened in high school and then through college. So you end up at Vandy. So that means you got drafted you were number 1 overall. Did you get drafted number 1 overall out of high school, and then you chose to go to Vandy, and then they still had your rights, or was it after you played through Vandy?
So I got drafted my senior year out of high school. It was like a courtesy pick, like in like the 38th round. Like it was like a, hey, you deserve to hear your name get drafted kind of deal. Like we know you're going to school, see you in 3 years. So when the purpose of like the naming rights stuff is if you get drafted, so let's say you're like a sophomore eligible, you get drafted and you don't sign, that same team has your rights for a year, essentially. So I got drafted by the Rockies out of high school, like I said, as a courtesy pick. And then I went to Vandy for 3 years and came out as, you know,
fucking dominated.
Kind of
yeah. I mean, God, that is awesome. 38th pick, the number 1 overall. 3 years later, now you're a World Series champ in your hometown. What a fucking life. Hey, Dansby.
Yeah.
Hey, Dansby.
Hey, it is a great life. And like I said on the that interview, like, I didn't know that coming home would be the best thing that ever happened to me. Obviously, I love it here, but everyone knows like when you get traded, like that's a crap feeling, dude. Like you feel like someone doesn't want you, right? You're just getting kicked to the curb. Also, I didn't want to be home because I didn't want to get bothered all the time.
Yes.
I was ready to be out, kind of form my own like new life out in Arizona, and you know when my family would want to come to visit, like by all means they could, but I was not about it. And then slowly but surely, I started to realize like this was the best thing that ever happened to me. I got 4 nephews. I get to see them grow up.
Yeah.
I got my family, obviously, my parents. My brother and sister, they live here, so I get to see them all the time.
Hey,
my girlfriend Mallory would never have met her. Her brother-in-law is Jace Peterson, who is one of my best friends, and he was playing on the Braves at the time. So like that's how we met, and it's just like you start adding all these things up, like. Never would have lined up if I didn't get traded back home.
Yeah, the universe is an interesting thing. You know, the way things work out is always incredible looking back. Steve Jobs has a quote that says, you can't connect the dots looking forward, right? You can only do that looking back. You just got to hope that every step you're going will make sense in the end or something like that. And it's like so incredibly real, especially hearing you experience the success you had. I was scared to death if I ended up on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I would, from Pittsburgh, my friends, the Savages at that age that we had, I would have never made it. I'd be selling sandwiches right now.
There were some growing pains, I'll tell you. There were some growing pains because right when I got called up, basically, I was actually living at home. It was like a month worth. It was like the last month of the season. And then I bought a house literally 5 minutes down the street from my folks. And my 3 best friends from high school, like my absolute boys from home, we all lived together.
Yeah.
So we're just going to end the conversation at that.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a lot of learning experiences. But since then, I have found my own place. Me and Mallory together.
Yeah, you're a World Series champ, dude.
Yeah, a World Series champ.
You're fucking got a pennant.
Something that no one can ever take away from you.
Ever.
That's the crazy part.
You'll be introduced as that forever. That's awesome. Go ahead, Ty.
Dansby, in you guys' division, obviously you got a couple horses, DeGrom, Wheeler, some of those other guys. Who do you think the toughest guy in the MLB is to hit against? And like when you're going against DeGrom, like do you do anything mentally differently, like when preparing for a guy like that?
Well, I'll venture to say that our division has the best pitching in baseball. I mean, the Marlins, who finished with maybe the worst record in our division, I think actually has the best pitching, which is crazy. And I think that that's one of the things that gets overlooked a lot about our division. Like, we may have only won 88. I like that stance. May have only won 88 games.
I don't have
But, it's hard to go on a winning streak when you're facing the guys that we're facing night in and night out. But in terms of, facing a guy like DeGrom, I wouldn't necessarily say mentally you do anything different. You just understand that your margin, like the margin for error is so small. Like when you're facing a guy that's of that status, like elite status like that, you have to be so on point.
That's
but I think the
fucking
biggest
crazy.
thing is you can't.
The margin
the
of
moment
error.
you get like intimidated or fearful by those guys, you're done.
They
smell that.
Hey, look, the margin for error is fucking insane now that I think about it. I mean, I made contact.
Round ball, round bat, hit it square.
That's a great point.
Yeah,
there.
but put yourself in DeGrom's shoes or Wheeler's shoes or whoever. Look at the lineup that you got to face with Atlanta, especially when Acuna's healthy. I mean, you guys have an unbelievably ridiculous lineup.
Are you guys sharing messages to each other, like when you're batting in order? Like, is there like, hey, this pitcher tonight is doing this, or is there a tell? Are you actually looking for seams? Is that something that's real?
So, going into the game, like we have meetings that go over pitchers and scouting reports and kind of like an approach to face certain guys and how it's going to be successful for you and all those kinds of things. There are certain tells that go on, like that, whether it's, I wouldn't necessarily say pitchers tipping as much because everyone's so kind of like paranoid about it these days that everyone has clean, like is clean when it comes to like their mechanics and things like that give away pitches. But we do talk about like, hey, this guy, I noticed he's standing more on maybe the third base side of the rubber. So his pitches are coming in at like a different angle than if he was on the first base side, or like there's just different like little things. Or hey, that breaking ball, it feels like it's going straight down more than side to side, and so you can kind of share different things back and forth.
So that's why,
if you just pay attention.
So that's why having a lot of good hitters on the same team is such a big deal, probably throughout games as well, right? Is that something?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you think about it, like your best player, which is why baseball is so unique too, because in football, right, if you're Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady, like you're getting the ball, you know what I mean, like you're gonna touch the ball every 5 minutes, and then you can impact each play. Whereas in baseball, you could be Mike Trout, you could be Freddie Freeman, you're only hitting once every 3 innings or so. So like you have your one chance to do something, and if you don't, then your teammates have to pick you up. And if if you're Freddie, like every ball can't get hit to Freddie Freeman. Like that's just not how it works. But Tom Brady, every time he can make the play calls, he can make the protection calls, he can tell guys where to go, and he can impact every play. Whereas you could literally go through a game and do absolutely nothing. Like no balls hit to you, you don't do anything at the plate very, very productively, and you were like almost non-existent.
Hey, getting over that. Hey, mentally, that's probably something, huh? Is that? I assume that is something in that.
That's why the 162 is even harder. Like physically, it's part of it just because it's an everyday grind, just like beat you down. But mentally, I'm telling you, you go 0 for 4 in like 4 straight games. You're showering with your jersey on. You're starting to do some crazy things to try and change the juju. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I haven't touched the ball in 3 days. I think I'm gonna go try and do this. So it's a battle.
Hey, congratulations on being World Series.
Yeah.
Because think about all the bullshit you've gone through probably for so long.
Oh, yeah.
And I know you still got a lot of years ahead of you, and there's people that have played longer than you. But just think about the road to get to the top and all the mental battles and it's unbelievable, man. It's very, very cool. I can't, because 162, and how my brain operates, and the games are like 7 hours long. I have no idea how you guys get through those things. I have no clue how you do it. I did it one game. I played one game It was for the Washington
Wild
Things. They were in the Frontier League, so I am kind of a professional baseball player.
yeah.
Only time in my entire life I played baseball. It was, the third inning? And I said, what inning is it? I thought it was like
Second.
8 or
It was the
9.
second.
Second inning. I'm like, holy shit, we are here all night.
That's another thing. Like, you learn over time how to, like, be in and out. Like, you learn to, like, check in and check out and check in and check out. Like, it's you really do, like, learn, like, and how to just try and play the game as, like, relaxed as possible. Like, like, when you're tense, like, you get tired way quicker. Like, if you're trying super hard, like, the intensity of that kind of, like, takes it out of you. When you learn to just, like, relax and be able to play the game instinctually, it kind of, like, comes a little bit more naturally. Like,
I don't know if I'm ever going to get there. I don't know if I'm ever going to get there. I hope, though. I'm going to keep giving it a go. I'll keep watching you. Go ahead, Tone.
Dansby, when Solaire puts a ball on the moon, like what was it like in the dugout? Was it like, okay, this is ours. This is the game that we're going to close this out. What was the attitude like when that ball was put on Mars?
Well, first of all, if you think he hit that ball far, y'all have got to watch my man take BP. He hits balls like because he's using the first bats when he hits.
You guys all use corked bats in BP and those bouncy balls. No, he's using actual balls.
The Astros are the cheaters.
But him.
You said it.
Him and BP though. You're saying it's a show out there.
It is like the world needs to see that man home run derby. But at the same time, I'd be terrified for like those kids who are in the outfield because I'm telling you, like I'm taking ground balls, and I try and get done after he hits his first round because his first round he's kind of just like feeling it out, and then he goes in like full launch mode, and it's like a rocket ship, dude. Like these balls are getting hit. Y'all think that one was hit far? Like not even close compared to the other one.
What is it? Is that explosion? Is it contact? What is it? His form? What makes?
He is the mannequin. Like the mannequin they put the jerseys on, like at like a sporting goods store. He is like a picture perfect, like 6'4", chiseled, super strong, and unbelievable, like hitting mechanics. So you combine all of that, and it's a show. But after he hit that homer, I think it was almost like we learned our lesson the game before because when Duvey hit that grand slam in the first inning, it's almost like we like lost our cool. Like it's not a 1 inning game; it's 9 innings. And so when he did that in the fourth inning, maybe third or fourth, I think it was the third inning. It was kind of like, okay, yeah, we can go nuts, but just remember, there's still another 18 outs left to play. Like, we still have to get 21 more outs.
We still have 10 more hours in this game.
Right. We still have this marathon to go, right? Like, so I think that was one of the biggest things was just remind everybody, like, hey, keep going. Like, we cannot stop because we learned last time that if we kind of just let our foot off the gas, this team is really good and they're going to take it to us again. So we got to kind of like, everybody chill out. Let's get back to what we're doing that's made us this good and keep doing that.
That's awesome. Go ahead, Cole.
Hey, Dansby, what happened to him? I mean, he came over. He was hitting like 118 when he came over from the Royals, right? I mean, what happened to him? What changed?
So, mechanically, I think one big thing that he was like, when I say he was getting like stuck back, so when you hit, you obviously like go forward. And when he was landing, his shoulders, like he was like out of whack, so there was only certain types of pitches he could hit. And when I'm telling you, when professional sports, like professional pitchers, when they figure out things that you can't hit, they will do it until you can't, or until you prove that you can hit it.
That's like me on a
ping
pong table.
Like he came over and just crushed it.
What, did you fix him?
I've seen better, but hey, we can work on it.
Well, hold on. Dansby, I was trying to enact what you were talking about. That was Mr. Cuda there. It was not me. All right, let's have a little bit of respect. Jesus. I don't even know if I'm a righty or a lefty, to be honest.
When you played minor league ball, what'd you hit that time?
Righty.
And you had a hit, right?
Well,
probably should have been batting lefty.
Probably should have been batting lefty. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
333 on base.
Yeah, 333 on base percentage. No big deal. Got to second base. Against a guy who was drafted by the fucking Yankees.
How about that?
I mean, how about it? No big deal. But I think I'm a
Sorry
left.
about it.
Okay, sorry about it, dude. Hey, 92 ain't good enough here, pal. Fucking bang! Go to square. I don't know how to get any.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. That actually looked good right there. The leg kick.
Thank you.
Please,
I've been trying
Dansby, please do not feed him.
Listen,
do not feed the ego.
Listen, Dansby, I'll have that son of a bitch sitting up here. If those pitchers want to wait, I'll fucking wait too. You know what I mean?
You got the good uke too.
Yeah. What's that?
You.
This one. Is that this one?
Yeah. Yep.
This one here. Do you do any of that shit? I should have done more research. Have you changed your stance or your swing at all? And do you change it ever?
Sometimes. I mean, I've found out that like the simpler the better. The simpler you are, the more repeatable you can be.
Yeah, it's punting too.
And I would say my one big thing that really helps me is I hit left-handed a lot. Like before games, I like to hit. I'm a right-handed hitter, but I like to hit left-handed. Like it's almost like if I were to like go play basketball. Like it's so like basketball is like my freeing sport. Like just go play around, shoot around or whatever. When I hit left-handed, it takes thinking out of it. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I don't know what the equivalent would be for you. Like if you were like in a slump punting, like what would something be where you just be like, all right, screw it, I'm just gonna kick this ball as far as I can? Like I don't know.
So what I would probably do, to be honest, I mean it's a little bit different than probably your mechanics, but I'd probably take a probably entire ounce of vitamins to the backyard and just work my way through it. I would take off to the moon, and then I would work my way through it. I was much more of I need to adjust something in my mind to get me into it, right? So I need to adjust the way I'm looking at it, because everything you just said there about repeatable and only going out, I only go on the field like every 45 minutes or so. And if I have a miss, I got to sit on the side and just fucking take it, right? So it's pretty similar to batting.
And everybody knows it when you miss.
Oh, everybody, the whole place. And when you shank a punt, the whole place knows. I mean, it is. And then you got your teammates like, oh, got to put the fire out because this fucking guy. So it's one of those things you just got to stand on the sideline. So for me, I would just have to adjust my things that I'm thinking before I'm going, So that's the only thing I really did. I couldn't punt lefty. I wish I was that athletic and strong. I mean, I could, but it wouldn't fucking go anywhere, Did you ever hit lefty in games or no? You ever think about that?
No, when I was younger, I would switch it some. Like I would obviously I'd hit left-handed and stuff some. But I just kind of knew that like right-handed would be that I would be much more like consistent and better if I was to stick to being right-handed. But it's the same kind of thing. Like it changes the thought process. It changes like your eyesight. Like just doing it from the other side, And next thing you know, like, and I'm in the cage hitting left-handed. If I roll one over or if I pop one up, I literally could care less because I'm hitting left-handed, So there's something like so like freeing about it where I just go hit left-handed. Whatever happens, what happens. Take some right-handed to just make sure I'm locked in for the game and go play. Like it's like playing wiffle ball in the backyard. Like that's kind of like what it does. Like all right, I'm gonna simulate like I'm hitting like I'm gonna be Barry Bonds today and wiffle ball, and I'm just.
You do Ken Griffey's swing every single time when you're not. Do you do Ken Griffey's single hand?
Oh,
do you do that?
Oh, when you're younger, baby, you simulate everybody.
How about now in that practice when you're lefty in there? You just like, hey.
No, I keep going. If I'm not hitting good right hand, I'm like, man, I might go play winter ball and just hit left handed. I'm gonna be a switch hitting shortstop. Like,
who's your favorite player growing up?
My favorite thing I'll be like, man, I wish my right-handed swing was as good as my left-handed swing because no one's ever like mechanically changed my left-handed swing. Like it's just natural. You just go and hit. But right-handed, it's like, oh, I need to do this. Okay, I'll do this. Okay, and then next thing you know, you've like mentally screwed yourself.
Takes all the thinking out of it. Who was your favorite player growing up?
Nomar.
Mr. Garcia Parr.
Yeah, I was a big Nomar guy.
Right here. Hell of a player. He's right here. He's literally right behind Connor.
I love it.
What's
crazy too is so he's married to Mia Hamm.
Yeah.
Soccer player.
And so Nomar was my favorite growing up, and Mia was her favorite player growing up.
That's incredible.
Oh.
Yeah, and talk about just like small world.
Very small world, and that's what anytime you athletes get together, the next generation of just Christian McCaffreys.
Oh yeah, big time.
Can't wait to see what the Watts, everybody on that Chicago Stars team. Basically, it's going to be fantastic.
A little bit of meaningless trivia.
Here we go
about Dansby.
Yep.
Is he was born, I believe, in Kennesaw, Georgia, correct?
Yes, sir.
Which was the birthplace of, I believe, Kennesaw Mountain Landis, who was a commissioner of baseball during the Black Sox scandal back in 1919. Am I correct on that, Dansby?
I literally grew up 5 minutes from Council Mountain.
And there you go. So just a little bit of trivia.
Well, thank you for guiding baseball in a much better fashion than the previous Kennesaw native. We appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, World Series champ, Dansby Swanson. See, Dansby Swanson should be on TV every fucking day for the MLB, saying our sport is filled with incredibly cool
He's good,
people.
isn't he?
He was awesome.
He was so entertaining.
It's kind of like an Aaron. That felt like I was chatting with a little bit of an Aaron.
Young guy too. He's just getting started.
I would watch if he was on TV every night, but instead baseball.
If they had him mic'd up every night of his games,
you'd watch.
So you guys should invest more time in baseball. It's enjoyable and it's
all right,
fun.
let's get
And
to a break.
there are some great.
Yeah, we got to get to a break. We appreciate Dansby for stopping by. He's obviously welcome anytime. All right. We'll get back to our break. He just snorted.
I'm trying to stick up for the
You
sport.
look like get your feet and your nose together over there. All right, we'll hit some phone calls on the other side. About 4 minutes away from that. 1-833-4-McAfee on the 5 Energy phone line. Can't wait to hear what you're talking about. And also, we have to run through everything that's happening in the NFL right now. Von Miller went to bed 4-4, woke up 7-1. It's all family in Denver. Excited to be in LA though. They're going to be good.
Yeah.
They are good.
Yeah.
Odell Beckham Jr. stuff. Mac Jones compliments coming from Matt Rule. I mean, Stephon Gilmore said, hey, give me Pitts in his first game with the Panthers. Got a pick. Pitts did nothing. Stephon Gilmore not thrilled with what the Patriots did. Is it a revenge game this weekend? And also, the risk-free same-game parlay is live on FanDuel at over plus 1,000 odds. Tonight we ride. Tonight we win. Tonight we celebrate.
Hell yeah.
We're back in 4 minutes. This is the Pat McAfee Show.
They want to play for the Yankees one day, the people I'm playing against. They want to play for the fucking Yankees.
Check out, like, in there, we put a little surprise in there for you.
About to get iced, it feels like. I mean, let's start the day.
What the fuck you get
It's great to be a member of the Washington Wild Things baseball team. We're number 1 in the league, right?
Yeah, let's fucking go.
Fuck everybody. Fuck everybody else. When I take BP, will there be anybody telling me how to fucking hit? No. It feels like the wind's blowing this way. Yeah. Might have to attack that fence tonight, huh? Hey, you got it! Does the DJ play heaters like this all night? I started hitting 2 days ago. Oh, you'll be fine. I think I figured it out.
You'll probably only face 90 miles an hour tonight.
Is that me in the game there? This is a good at bat. This is a good at bat. Oh shit! Oh shit! Give me it!
1-1 pitch.
Let's go!
Line drive right
son of a
at
bitch! That came down a lot faster than I thought, though. Let's be honest.
It's deep, and it is off the wall. Field it out.
Excuse me! If you could all get off of my dick, we would be better off. Tell you what, would have been nice to take a nap earlier.
Another throw.
Get back!
First.
You have to tell me when that's happening. You're making me look bad. Hey, Steven, fuck you. Hey, fuck you, Steven. Hey, nice pitch. 149. Does that feel good, Steven? Oh, wow. Wow.
And he tosses him the ball.
Wow. Back to being a player now. Making plays. Touchdown. What inning is it?
Second.
Jesus. But it was finally my time to get in that box.
Number 1, the right fielder, the former punter from West Virginia, a former Indianapolis Colt, and a current Barstool Sports personality, Pat McAfee.
The anticipation is real.
Oh, fuck.
Right at Pat. Hit out.
I'm in the hole? Son of a bitch. This is about to happen.
And that will bring up Pat McAfee once again.
First pitch from Reynaldo Lopez, swing and a miss by McAfee.
Hey. What was that? And the catcher goes, I had to give you one.
Lift off speed.
What was that? Then I look at the pitcher, and he's smiling. He's like laughing, like he's toying with me like I'm a child. It all comes down to this. My last at-bat. Hey, I'm gonna get on. You bring me home.
This is your life on the line, fucker.
Let me tell you something. You're going to take an L, okay? You're going to take one. So I think that the close your eyes and swing method is perfect for you. Oh, this is hardball.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Jesus! You have no prayer.
Now batting, number 1, right fielder, McAfee.
Oh boy.
Oh, this is the thing. Let's go!
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Welcome back to that show. Joining us now to wrap up hour one after that incredible conversation with Dansby Swanson, who I am a massive fan of, at Lieutenant Dans7, I think, on Twitter.
Nice.
Incredible. Joining us now, a man who knows horses inside out. And this weekend, there is a horse race.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, to talk about the Breeders' Cup, TVG Mike. How you doing, Mike?
Thank you very much. Doing very well. We are, tomorrow we have not one horse race. We got 14 of them. So the Breeders' Cup, I joined you guys for the Derby. Mm-hmm. The Derby's one race. It's like the NCAA tournament. Breeders' Cup's 14. We got 5 on Friday. We got 9 on Saturday. And these are the best horses in the world, right? So that's like the NCAA tournament for the Derby. This is more like the NBA Finals. These are better horses, more refined. This is the day of championship racing.
Whoa. This is horse madness out there in Breeders' Cup. Where is it at? California?
Del Mar, California. I'm going to do a little whirlwind tour. And all sport. Right over there, that's the Pacific Ocean right behind me.
Is that
This
north?
is the breakfast marquee where, by the way, that's the open bar that I decided to do this hit from. So I am still relatively sober, but I'm not driving home.
Well, it's early, it seems like. You can get after it, though. This is the Breeders' Cup. This is a celebration of the best horses. This is 5 races today, 9 races tomorrow. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Breeders' Cup time. This one, the best horses come out to run in beautiful Belmar, California. Who's going to win? Who do we like? What do we like? How do we like the betting on these things?
Okay, so first of all, if I don't do this, my boss will fire me. But FanDuel Racing is offering 20-1 odds on any horse running on Friday or Saturday, both days of the Breeders' Cup. When you sign up for a car, you got to go to the FanDuel Racing or download the FanDuel Racing app. The reason you do that is because there's a horse called Gamine in the 4th race on Friday, the number 5 horse. She's in the race called, it's the filly and mare turf. So it's the girls, or filly and mare sprint. It's the girls going 3/4 of a mile. It's a shorter race. She is as much of a lock as there's ever been. But if you were betting her pari-mutuel, if you were just betting her regular, your odds are 1-2 or minus 200. We're giving you plus 2,000 on her. So
this is steal. This is steal. We're making money off horse racing. Yeah! Hey, thank you, TVG. What's the name of the horse again? And it's in the Billionaire what?
It's Gamine, Gamine, Gamine. She's the 5 horse in the 4th race on Friday. That's all you need to know. It's the filly and mare turf, or filly and mare sprint. I keep saying turf. It's on the main track. Filly and mare sprint. The big one, though, the heavyweight division in horse racing, are older horses going 1.25 miles on the track. The Derby's 1.25 miles. The Breeders' Cup Classic is 1.25 miles. These are the best horses in the game. So you have the very controversial Derby winner, Medina Spirit. Once again, we all know the story. Failed the post-race test for it. Now, the media says it's a steroid. It's actually an anti-inflammation therapeutic medication. It was just an overage. Maybe a little too much out of it. But in the Breeders' Cup Classic, that's a horse that's going to garner a lot of attention. I'm going to give you a name, though. I want you to write this down. Max Player. Max Player's coming off of 2 wins. Just won in New York for Steve Asmussen. The last time they ran the Breeders' Cup here in Southern California at Del Mar, he won the Breeders' Cup Classic with a horse named Gunrunner.
We have an owner of the horse.
With a really talented horse named Max Player.
Yeah. Hey, we have an owner of the horse, Max Player, in the building, actually. We have a coastal elitist that works here. Him and his family has shares in Max Player, and he was actually going to come in here potentially dunk on you if you gave no love to Max Player, and somehow with 5 races tomorrow, 9 on Saturday, you were able to pick out this one horse. He had great faith in Max Player as well. This is awesome. This seems like this is destined to happen.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go, Max Player. 20-1 odds at FanDuel Racing right now.
It's the first win bet you make. So when you sign up for that account at FanDuel Racing, the first win bet you make on Friday or Saturday, you will get those 20-1 odds. So if you want 20-1 on Max Player, you can make that bet on Max Player. If you want to take a cinch like Gamine in the Filly and Mare Sprint on Saturday, the 5-horse in race 4, she's going to be 1-2. So she's going to be for sports odds. Once again, she's going to be minus 200. You can make that bet the equivalent of plus 2,000. So that's what you got to look at.
Hey, let's go.
Let's ride.
Hey, our horse expert here in the office. Now, granted, I did not know until about a couple hours ago he did have a horse that was this good that it would be garnering attention from TVG Horse Mike.
Yeah.
But Bruce, Max Player, you scouted this horse from a young filly age. What happened here? How did you get in on this game?
No, it's like shares of the horse that are available through, I think the name of it's like Sports BLX. And after it won at Aqueduct, my mom asked me about it, and I said, yes, definitely, let's do it.
And now this player is going to take down Medina Spirit, the one taking Tordo in the ass before Kentucky Derby?
Yeah. I mean, hopefully 8-1, so nice little shot.
Hey, let's go, Max Player. Come on, Max Player. Hey,
you should get every bit of that 8-1 because of the presence of you have such quality in there. You have Nick's Go is extraordinarily fast. Medina Spirit, like we said, is going to garner some attention. There are some very good horses in there. And I think Max Player's a little bit forgotten at this point. But back-to-back wins at a 1.25 miles. I will tell you this, though. Steve Aspis and his trainer, one of the greatest trainers to ever throw a saddle over the horse. He comes to California early. He brings all of his Breeders' Cup runners here like a month in advance, and he's had tremendous success. So as good as that last race was for Max Player, I think he's on tilt right now. He's going to be going as well as we've ever seen him. It should be his career best.
Okay, that's awesome to hear. Are they throwing saddles over horses behind you over there at the open bar?
No, they're throwing Maker's Mark into some.
Now
we're talking.
It's 10 a.m. It's Breeders' Cup weekend.
Now we're talking.
Let's go. Quick question. Can we go back to that Kentucky Derby thing about Medina Spirit? So that was all blown out of proportion. In my eyes, how I read it as an outsider, looking at the situation and the fallout. Now, I didn't keep up with it. I probably should have, obviously. But horse racing is something that comes in bunches, I think, naturally as a sport. That was all blown. That was all a bunch of bullshit. Is the owner's going to be pissed off about this in the end? Did the horse get screwed, or what happened?
Well, so here's the thing, is that if that race was run in California, it wouldn't even be a violation, right? It would be a $500 fine. He was barely over. The drug in question is called betamethasone. And betamethasone is, it's technically a steroid, but it's an anti-inflammatory steroid. It's totally legal to use. You just have to withdraw 14 days out. And the way they measure that is by taking their blood, and 14 days out, it should all clear. Now, there's speculation that because he failed the post-race test, he was given betamethasone within the 14 days. His defense is they were using a topical ointment that contained betamethasone accidentally, which very may well be the case. The problem with horse racing is it's not like the Olympics or baseball where it's if you have a drug in your system, you're guilty. They have to regulate veterinary medications, and there's different medication rules from state to state. Now, Bob Baffert doesn't have the best record. He has a number of violations, so his barn isn't the cleanest in that respect. But we're not talking about a straight-up performance enhancer, give him the needle and he runs 5 lengths faster situation here. What you have is a legal medication overage. The reason the industry got upset with it is because he's had so many over the last several years. He's had 5 within a year. That was his only one this year. But the list of allowable medications in horse racing is vast. So it's one of those things where there's 2 questions. 1, was he cheating? 2, did they catch him cheating with a betamethasone positive? Nobody really knows the answer to question number 1. But the answer to question number 2 is I really don't think so. I think he just had a beta overage. And if it was any other race in any other jurisdiction, we wouldn't be talking about it.
That horse was on some good cushion betamethasone. Running fast and helpless. We appreciate you, TVG Mike. You're electrifying, man. Thanks for dumbing it down for all of us while being surrounded by a bunch of booze bags.
Yeah, I will be diving into that booze immediately, and thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
No, we appreciate you, too. Let's look out for Gamine and Max Player.
Yeah.
Here we go. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. TVG Mike. Get the FanDuel Racing app for 20-1 odds on any first bet. Thank you so much, TVG Mike. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. All right, I got to run and go to the bathroom real quick before hour 2 starts. Terrible end to Sirius XM hour 1.
Yeah, what are you going to do, though?
It was mid-sentence. It was mid-sentence, though. I understand a Max Player got us all excited because we actually heard about Max Player earlier. We got a horse in the race.
Let's go.
And all of a sudden, TVG Mike, who did not know that, just drops out of nowhere. They're getting drunk at 10 a.m. Okay, let's have a Breeders' Cup.
How about it?
Let's have an hour 2 on the other side. AJ Hawk will be joining us, and we need to know what he knows about Aaron Rodgers.
Hell yeah.
He won't tell us.
Maybe Aaron will talk before the weekend, though.
Oh,
really?
Maybe.
Before Saturday.
I don't know. Is that tease? Oh, I got to go piss. See you in a minute.
I think I'm going to be in the house.
What is the alternate passing to do?
That's the one I worry about.
The play calling that he does.
He's going to fuck us. 80% better than
Alternate receiving. What do you like?
pick a half.
Turn, what did you rate on that one?
Ruined it last time. I don't want to ruin it.
No, Tom, we all ruined it.
Minus 380.
I might be able to see these guys in warm-ups too. But hey,
Need a big gun.
I like everything in there.
hey, fucking do not go down easy. If you need to sprain both of your ankles. A lot has to happen.
Instead of money line.
Jesus Christ. Now we're starting to cook.
No. Last time.
Threw it 3 times last week.
Hold on, guys. So here's this. Weren't they getting criticism?
Me screaming, give the ball!
Why not? Why not today? Why not now?
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show, hour 2 on this risk-free same-game parlay. Thursday Night Football, Thursday, November 4th begins right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard the R roll.
Oh, yeah.
Culture, no fucking big deal. And on this particular Thursday, we're a little bit excited because tonight's risk-free same-game parlay is going to hit.
Oh, yeah.
Tonight's the night where the Indianapolis Colts, Carson Wentz, Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman Jr. dominate the Mike White-led Jets into absolute oblivion.
Hell yeah.
Hopefully, at least they win by 6 is what we need to happen. We need Carson Wentz to throw for over 225. We need Michael Pittman Jr. to catch for over 70, which he has done routinely when T.Y. Hilton hasn't been in this season. That's amazing. And then also, you know, Jonathan Taylor just needs 2 touchdowns.
That's it. Just 2.
He's the AFC Offensive Player of the Month. He's on a team that doesn't have a winning record and was the Offensive Player of the Month in one of the earlier months in the NFL. I mean, that is something that should be talked about a little bit more, and we would if it wasn't risk-free, same-game parlay, Thursday Night Football, Thursday. We talk about the awards and the Players of the Month and all that shit, but Jonathan Taylor's a stud. A superstar. Can't wait to watch him live tonight in person. And when he gets in for that second time, I believe we're all going to be jujuing on beat down there. It's going to be a great time. What's up, Dick?
I did a little research. Quarterbacks have gone over 225 6 of the 7 games against the Jets, and they have given up over 100 yards rushing in 6 of the 7 games as well.
They stink.
The
Jets.
They're dominating.
Come on.
Worst team in the league.
Yeah, you guys stink, and all this is going to hit.
I hope it does for you.
The only
guys.
issue is what happens if we're up 70 and they rest Jonathan Taylor so he doesn't get hurt?
Or what if they only give Jonathan Taylor like 8 touches tonight? I mean, he still might score 2 touchdowns, but it's possible he.
Man, what if you're down 30?
Who?
Just thinking.
That'll never happen.
Who be down 30?
Just thinking out loud.
Who?
That's all.
You talking about the Colts?
Yeah.
Colts ain't going to be down 30. Not Lucas Oil Stadium Thursday Night Football.
No.
Not in that place.
Here's a fun fact, by the way, and I don't know the actual stats or numbers, but Thursday Night Football games never in Indianapolis.
Really?
I mean, there might be sporadically, but we're always on the road on Thursday Night Football games because Convention City. So normally there wasn't an ability to get any hotels because they were all rented out years in advance, legitimately years in advance because of how many conventions would come through. Then COVID kind of happened, and maybe that's a part of it, or maybe Jim Irsay just said, hey, I would like to have a primetime game at this stadium that is beautiful a little bit more often than it has been in the past. And so what I'm saying is Indianapolis doesn't get a lot of opportunity to show up on a Thursday night. Colts fans are going to be loud in there.
Yeah.
I'm going to be one of them.
The Jets are just lucky they're on national television.
Well,
once.
that's what I'm saying. This is the handout primetime game the league has to give.
Yeah.
One every year.
But what if fucking Mike White does it? What if Mike White is a football player? What if Mike White has been biding his time, and although he was cut 4 times by the Jets, what does that tell us? Oh, the Jets have made all the right decisions in the past? What if he was cut 4 times by the Jets and it was all a mistake? And because of that, nobody else really got any film of him or saw him at all. What if he was a diamond in the rough that has been cleared out and found all of a sudden for the New York Jets? He was the Nickelodeon MVP this week.
Can't sneak up now, though.
No,
we know.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
the
White
MVP.
is.
Right.
Yeah. We'll be ready for him.
We'll see, too. I mean, I'd love Lightning Mike White to come out here and light it up, but there's a good chance someone's going to fucking take his head off tonight.
His coach at Western Kentucky said he saw this day coming.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we actually talked about that on Monday about how it's not just about Mike White's life here. Think about his friends, his family, his old coaches that have been in conversations around water coolers and bar tops about talking about their guy, Mike White. Hey, he's a fucking guy. He just never got the opportunity. Then all of a sudden he throws for 405. They're all walking into work on Monday morning. Hey, how you doing?
What'd I say?
I've been telling you guys, you drafted them fantasy. I told you to do it. Boom, celebration. Maybe shots, beers being chugged, celebrations being had by Mike White fans and friends and family. And I understand that maybe his coach said that, but that Bengals defense might have been half asleep that entire game.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened to them? This Colts defense ain't going to do that on Thursday night at home.
Not at prime time, no way. And
No
plus-
way. Darius Leonard, the maniac, look for the legs to be flying.
Bengals
Kenny
had just
Moore.
won their Super Bowl, okay? Colts just lost. They're not going to sleepwalk through the Jets.
They're ready.
Carson Wentz will leave no play behind tonight.
That's
Which
right.
might hurt us.
We did think about having Carson Wentz over rushing because it's pretty much guaranteed because he will somehow fall and stumble. But I thought putting that on there would potentially be promoting Carson Wentz to scramble. And
We don't want to promote that.
And I don't want that. I just want Carson Wentz to use his incredible arm, his incredible vision, and I want him just to go ahead and pick apart defenses, which he can do, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
He can absolutely do it. He's proven to do it. He's throwing up a lot of yards in games. But then once he starts trying to die on every play, that's a little bit scary. He probably will get the over rushing, but I took it off strictly because I didn't want to be like, potentially making money off of something I don't necessarily promote.
Yes.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
That's kind of how I feel.
Good guy.
I think if Carson has only like 7 to 10 turnover worthy plays tonight as opposed to like his typical 15 to 25, I think the Colts will be fine and they win.
Hey, is there a stat for most dropped interceptions? Because Carson Wentz, he does make it difficult for them to catch.
Yeah, he's up there.
He makes it tough for them to catch, but he's past that now, especially after what happened last week.
No.
Yeah, Carson Wentz, whole new player. He's going to show it Thursday Night Football. And when we have a risk-free same-game parlay on there, Michael Cole is in studio. I don't know if I've introduced him in hour 2 yet here. I apologize. That's bad hosting. And you asked some incredible questions to Dansby Swanson.
Thank you. Baseball guy.
And we had a fucking baseball player on the show, not because you were here, though. It just so happened like we got very lucky that we had you on here. Because Ty is our baseball guy. Ty takes it on the shins a lot.
You should do more of it, I believe.
Nah.
No, because you're not here. We literally, and
It's tough, Cole. People don't give a shit.
Baseball blows, Cole.
You guys have a stadium like 5 blocks down here.
Beautiful stadium.
Beautiful, yeah.
Gorgeous.
Good team.
That's AAA affiliate for the Pittsburgh Pirates. There's been World Series champions that have played there. Hall of Famers probably got played there. And then the Pittsburgh Pirates, as soon as they notice that they're good, they trade them out of town so they don't have to fucking pay them. That's what the Pirates are. We need to maybe turn this into... No.
What?
Pittsburgh shouldn't lose the Pirates.
No.
But
No, Pittsburgh should just go under new ownership.
Correct.
Okay.
Bingo.
Why don't you buy the fucking Pirates?
Yeah.
You're the only person I know that knows anything about
Then I'd
this.
move them to Austin, Texas.
Whoa.
Whoa, don't
That'd
you
be a
ever.
stupid move.
Hey, listen. You hear me? You say a lot of stupid shit.
Hey,
all right?
but by the way, get back to football for a moment. You're all
No, let's take it back. You don't
Yeah.
move the Pirates. All right,
Come
the
on.
Broncos
You
stay.
got enough shitty teams in Texas.
Yeah,
Yeah, cheating
well,
teams.
the Texans terrible.
Bro, by the way,
Cowboys
Joe
okay.
Rogan and
Rangers.
Elon Musk both in Austin.
Rockets stink.
Rangers.
There's probably going to be some sort of
Rangers
something there.
horrible.
Oh, yeah.
There's multiple billionaires moving to Austin. Something is going to end up in Austin in the professional realm. by the way.
Austin
It's
Space
not going to be the
Cadets.
Pittsburgh Pirates, though.
Oh, we'll see.
Pat, I figured it out.
You take the 2 bets that TVG Mike gave us, and we put some money on the ponies.
Gamine,
we
Max
bet on,
Player.
We bet on Ghislaine and Max Player. We parlay
Ghislaine.
those, and we do like old man Rooney did when he bought the Steelers. He used the horse racing money to win, buy the Steelers.
Oh, that's
we do
good.
It with
And the
Pirates.
Steelers have had a lot of success, so this is a trend and a blueprint that tells us that there will be more success in the professional sports. Gamine.
Ghislaine.
No.
It's not.
Which?
That's not her name.
Which is it?
That's not the horse's name or her name.
Ghislaine. Ghislaine.
It's Gamine.
Gamine.
Gamine. Thank you.
Okay.
Ghislaine. Her name's Ghislaine. Joining us now, a man who loves Gamine.
Yep.
And
loves Max Player.
Oh, yeah.
And joining us from his attic in Ohio. We hope everything's all right. We weren't able to connect with him there for a little bit. I don't know if there's an internet damage or what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, Super Bowl champion, college football national champion, AJ Hawk. AJ, Michael Cole's clap. Hey, Michael Cole's even clapping.
Oh my God, AJ, it's a golf clap.
Yeah, hey, that's all I need, Mike. It's good to have you in studio. Good to see an adult in studio, Mike.
How are you?
Yes, exactly.
Shut up, dude. You suck.
Is everything all right, dude?
You guys, get it out. Get it out.
Well, you did come in swinging at us. I mean, what's that all about? You feeling feisty on this?
AJ, my
risk-free?
Twitter feed is talking about how the show has become much more mature today.
Fuck all of you.
I'm so glad to be a part of it today.
You have flip flops on, dude.
Yeah, with no socks, dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those
Should he be wearing
toes.
socks with
25
thong
degrees
flip-flops?
outside.
No, it's not thongs. It's they're slides.
Oh, okay.
Good ones, too, actually.
Yeah, Nikes.
They're very nice. I mean, the jumpsuit is also fantastic.
top
Yeah,
tier.
still a suit.
I mean, you look like
That's why I
that
asked.
is.
Still a suit. Something to think about.
Yeah.
This coming from the guy who wears the same black tank top every day, including tomorrow when he comes to SmackDown. He'll be in the same black tank top,
But
underneath his
Don't ask
blazer.
Stephen A.
Yeah, well, yeah, Stephen A. is not exactly thrilled about my tank top usage. And he also said on SmackDown, I get all dressed up, and I did this last week. I had like a actual little dress shirt on or whatever. That's not normally it is just the same exact tank top you see me here, and I'll throw a jacket on top of it because I do respect the
Shield.
The Shield. I respect the Shield of the WWE. I do respect the position. And then every time you're wearing a 3-piece suit, this guy, I can't be looking completely just straight tank toppy. So Stephen A. doesn't know that, but I do appreciate the fact that you've allowed me to dress like that on your guys' air.
It's not me. I don't know the company.
Yeah, you're right.
There's
You're
one
right.
guy.
Well, I have
There's one
learned
guy.
that. Yeah, I have learned that, and I appreciate that. AJ, we can't thank you enough for joining us. Is everything okay? Did you have the internet? Is everything all right?
No, I'm good. I got a text from you and Zito both. The first FaceTime you guys called didn't pop up on my screen.
So you actually thought something was wrong with us.
Yeah, you said, you all right? I'm like, did something happen that I don't know about? Like, what's going on?
Oh, that's like Dansby Swanson said, like, is it true he got a text from one of his friends whenever he was at a meeting and he didn't know what it was? He said, is it true is one of the most difficult texts to get because you're like, who knows what this could be about? And that was actually him getting traded. Did you get a chance to listen to any of that? I fucking love that dude. I'm a big fan of his after that conversation he had with us.
I wasn't able to actually listen to him on here, but I did hear a little bit of TVG Mike. Is that his name?
Yeah.
That dude, hey, I respect people that are passionate about what they do, and you can tell that dude loves horse racing.
Bob Bafford's got a lot of questionable things in his barn or whatever, the way he described the barn, and then he said putting saddles on horses. You know what I mean?
He's the greatest. I think I wrote it down. He's the greatest trainer ever to throw a saddle over a horse.
Yes, saddle over a horse.
That's like an awesome horse cliche that we should work into football somehow.
Well, and did you hear me? I literally said it back to him because I had the same exact thought as you. As soon as you said it, I was like, yep, we're fucking going to use that one somehow. That was, and then he describes the guy's entire business as the barn. Makes so much sense, obviously. That's a guy that has grown up in it, lived it, slept it, everything, and you could tell he loves it as well. I actually asked Bruce. You know, Bruce owns some of that horse. Hey, for shoot, brother. That is real. He owns some of that horse. I just asked him, I was like, hey, do you want like a horse podcast with like TVG Mike? Like, that'd be pretty sweet. And Bruce was like, yeah, I would actually, I do love horses, you know, you kind of get into this entire thing. And I was like, all right, cool. That seems like a natural.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like how you're representing Bruce, like he and Mitch should probably pair up for
They do. They were at the fucking game last night, the Pacers-Knicks. They almost got kicked out. He got a yellow card from the NBA. Bruce got a yellow card from the NBA. I don't know, legit.
It's a warning on a cagey match.
He got a warning from, it was a cagey affair. He got a warning from the NBA. It's actually like this cardboard square that basically says, you fuck up one more time, we're allowed to kick you out. Like, this is an actual warning that you're getting. He was yelling at the refs. He was talking shit to TJ McConnell. I guess he was in his quiet in there. He's a big Knicks fan, and the Knicks are back for the first time in 55 years.
Well, I was really excited last week when they were 5-1, but they've lost 2 in a row, so it's back down to earth.
This dude actually got a yellow card.
Wow.
So did they actually hand that out?
These after the mouse the palace?
Oh, yeah. Hold on. So it says NBA warning card, and then it's signed by T.J. McConnell. T.J. McConnell, Pittsburgh guy, plays for the Pacers. I guess he had a strikingly close resemblance to one of the officials that was in the game. So Bruce Brown, Knicks fan, full Knicks gear, Patrick Ewing shoes even that are svelte blue.
Yeah.
They are these blocks and he starts yelling at T.J. McConnell and the ref. There's some words exchanged, and then allegedly T.J. and Bruce for the next like 4 or 5 series, there was potentially a little give and take. Pittsburgh guy T.J. McConnell, by the way, if there's a little shit talk, he's probably not scared of it. So T.J. McConnell comes up afterwards, signs the yellow card that Bruce got for yelling about T.J. McConnell. And then they hit each other up, and it's like, hey, good seeing you, man. Have a good one. That's awesome. I had no idea they had yellow cards in fucking NBA arenas. They do.
Stupid.
So whenever you're thinking about swinging on somebody, I don't know if they'll give you the warning, but there's probably a red card that's coming out there, too. We got to remember that.
Doesn't Cole kick fans out of the stadium every
I
week
give
for
him those
talking
stupid
shit?
cards. That's what I do.
No.
Smart. Out of there. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Send the security guard over and yank his ass out and bring him out to the building. It's dumb. You're giving him a card. So now this guy's going to run around and he's going to show his card off. Hey, we
literally just told an entire story about the NBA having a yellow card. I had no idea this is something.
Well, it's just, I mean, now he waves the card around. Hey, I was an asshole at the game last night. Look at me.
He was an asshole.
No, but I'm just saying, it's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
He was an asshole at the game. I will say, everybody that was around him that we, and even some of the judgment of the people that were talking to us is even sometimes questionable, but they were all like, oh, you should have seen the show last night. Like, that was the message we were getting. And I guess, there wasn't loud all the time, and I don't know if that's how NBA games are now, especially or whatever the case is and however the team is. So there was times where Bruce Brown was basically the MC of the fucking whole. There was where his voice was just echoing everybody could hear him from all the way down in the top. So I guess
you ever tried to watch last night, Pat? I think I was ESPN. The Nets were playing, and I watched a decent amount of it, and it's just crazy. Like, if Bruce Brown was out there yelling, I would have heard him on TV. They're playing music during the possessions, but like in between plays, basketball, like the pace of it is so weird and not slow, but just one-on-one matchups. You could hear everything, I think.
I used to go to a lot of the Pacers games. George Hill, Paul George, Roy Hibbert.
Reggie Miller.
Stevenson?
No, Reggie Miller was before me. No. Reggie Miller was before me.
He killed me. Obviously. He killed my Knicks.
Yeah.
Every year.
Yeah. This whole thing.
Oh, big time.
Yeah, Spike Lee's still there, though. And he's still doing it.
He's still there.
Spike Lee's still doing it. Hey,
Rick Smits. There's a name for your Pacers past.
Hey, he still comes around.
Rick Smits.
He's big, tall. Big. He still comes around. You'll see him. It's like, he's a 7-foot white guy.
Played college in my hometown.
Really?
Marist College in Poughkeepsie.
I did not know. Hey, shout out.
Hey, how about it? Strong Island.
So do you know just every little tiny story from every tiny town around towns?
Yeah, I'm just. My wife gets so mad at me because I just have this trivia that you have no use for.
Is this because you've been on the road for like 25, 30 years?
Yeah, that and just being brought up as a sports fan and just, I don't know. I think that has to go back to being a baseball fan because baseball, as you know, is all statistics and it's all these weird little stats. And I think that, I don't know, I just enjoy that stuff. And plus being a sports entertainment announcer for 25 years and having to know a lot of that stuff just is there.
Well, yeah, because for instance, every time we go to a city, I'm trying to give a shout out to the local city, and then there's a couple cities we went to where nobody cared about any of the teams. So hey, do we all like the Chiefs here? No, hate them. We are in Wichita. Well, who the fuck? What are we?
Shockers.
What, you guys like the Shockers here? No, Rock Shocker. I'm like, all right, huh? What do we like here? It's a mixed bag. I'm like, all right, well, I'm not doing a McAfee Minute.
We like nothing.
No way. I'm not talking about any. There's no reason for me to get up here. Now, I can't even say anything that Michael Cole potentially hates in there, but the whole state of the world right now, AJ, and we have to get to this, is about your friends.
Yeah,
it is. I didn't want to, I didn't know how we were going to go in. I didn't know what we were going to do, because if anybody knows anything, it's this guy right here.
Right here.
In the entire world, everybody knows. As soon as there was other situations like this, where who would have known on the entire planet about what was going on potentially behind closed doors on one particular side that was potentially in a public dispute with another side. The other side was talking this particular side that he knows.
Much different than this situation.
Oh,
come on, dude.
You would say that.
Yeah, you would. But anyways.
Yeah, you're right. I would.
on. You never know anything, okay? But you break news, anything you say about any situation that is involving Mr. Aaron Rodgers. So I understand some of the positions you're potentially in because of your friendship. I mean, the Derby picture, when that came out, I think it was an entire like, oh, so this guy does know. This guy does know. And in this situation, I assume after seeing my Twitter mentions, you're probably getting lumped in a lot of these conversations as well. In your state right now, what are your thoughts on how this all plays out? Like, honestly, it is crazy. That was trending for 13 hours at number 1 and number 2 on Twitter. Nothing does that. I mean, it led off the national morning shows, like the
Good Morning America, all that
Today
Show.
Old Nate Burleson's over there probably talking about the NFL literally all morning because of this entire situation. What are your thoughts on it now that we're a little bit more into it? Yesterday we were only an hour removed from the information being released. Just how do you feel about it right now, and how do you think it goes?
I mean, I guess I never thought of like that we would be in this situation. I guess I don't know if anyone could have guessed. I wonder if Aaron knew that it could become this big of a deal. That's what I'm wondering right now. He knows, like, whatever happens, his news, it's a big deal, whatever he says or does, but this thing has definitely taken off, and until he gets back in the facility, it's going to be a huge deal, I feel like, until he talks about it. But I don't know what exactly he's going to say or what he can say or what he's trying to do now. I know he's still in Zoom meetings with the team.
Hey, and there has to be some sort of, right? There has to be some sort of reasonable answer.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, obviously he has a reason for whatever he's done.
Has to be. And by the way, it's not just him, right? There's other people that are. I mean, there has to be. So that's why when everybody is, and by the way, there's a lot of very reasonable questions being asked by a lot of people. But I think in the same reasonable vein, you have to think to yourself, how did we get here? So many things had to happen to get to this point. How, why, what? And that's what I'm excited to hear about and learn about. And maybe, hopefully, we'll be able to do that at some point, as opposed to maybe this just another wave coming and never hearing about it again, you know?
Yeah, I don't know what's going to slow this down. You know, like the old urban thing, there's always something that can come take its place. I don't know what could take this place for the next 7 to 8 days.
Hey, it's been a lot of drama, hasn't it? Hey,
this year.
There's been a lot. Well, I guess because we're in a world that's filled with things that could potentially bring dramatic moments. Because there's so much that has happened and is currently happening and potentially happening, and information that people are seeing and not seeing and picking and choosing what to know and what not to know. I mean, it is an absolutely insane time in the world. So I'd assume that would carry into the biggest league in the world in the NFL. But it feels like there's just been a lot of drama. Like, for instance, I mean, this whole Odell Beckham Jr. shit, this is just drama right now.
Yeah.
This is crazy. It's something that never happens is happening, where some people are saying, well, what they're doing is against the CBA, so that should be a penalty. They should get suspended. And then and I think there's actually maybe a reasonable fight on that particular stance. And then another one is, well, the Browns are in an interesting predicament here. Interesting. They cut OBJ, one of the most electrifying wide receivers, one of the most popular players in the NFL. They cut him. He doesn't get picked up by anybody through the waiver wire. They still owe him money, and he can go play somewhere else. So he'll get money from the Browns, and he'll get money from another team. The money from the Browns is $8.05 million for the rest of the year. Then if they cut him and he gets picked up in the waiver wire and goes somewhere else, they don't account for anything. The new team picks that up. So maybe that's what the Browns are hoping for. But now they're just excusing him from practice. Allegedly, he's been wanting to practice, but they're excusing him from practice. The word usage is a big deal because I guess they can't force him to not be at practice without a suspension, which, I mean, there is just so much at play here, and it all revolves around, there's probably been other pieces to the puzzle, but the OBS post seems to have potentially really bubbled everything over to a point that Baker Mayfield said any conversation would be cool. Not just an apology, but any conversation would be cool. And then he was asked if he was hurt, and he says, nah. Surprised? Yes. This is via Ari Mirov of Pro Football Focus at My Sports Update. AJ, it's drama. Like, it feels like this
What are they trying to do? Like, you laid it out. What I know Stefanski, yesterday or whatever, said the GM is talking to Odell's representatives. So what does that mean, though? Can you say, all right, well, you got to restructure, take a pay cut, we owe you $3 million for the rest of this year, and then we cut you? Is that how it works?
So, but then if...
So another team hopefully claims him? I don't get it.
Yeah, but if they cut him at $3 million, then somebody's definitely going to claim him, right? Yeah. So I guess that's good news. But then
he probably doesn't want to be claimed, though. He wants to be a free agent.
Claim, you have to go through the waiver wire. The waiver wire is determined by, like, draft order. So that's shitty teams are at the top.
The worst team that claims you gets you.
Yeah, and they all put in claims, and then it's the order of preference depending upon how good of a football team you are. If you're a bad team, you're high. So Odell Beckham Jr. would be agreeing to a deal of less money, then probably going to a worse team somehow.
Yeah.
So Odell's not going to agree to do that. You know, like that. So I think what the Browns came out and said is we'd rather pay him and him just not be a part of the team than any of the rolling of the dice that he's potentially going to clear.
You can't really do
waivers.
that, though. That's like suspending him with pay. You can't do that. Can you just Odell is excused for the rest of the regular season? Is that what they can do?
I have no idea. But then what happens if he's like, "No, I'm gonna come. I understand I'm excused, but I'm actually gonna come. You guys got a good facility here, and I need to work, at least stay a little bit."
Ben
sharp.
Simmons.
What's that?
Ben Simmons.
No, but the MBPA in the NBA, don't they have a different CBA? Is he allowed to be?
Well, the fact is he's now claiming that he needs help with his mental health, so the Sixers now have to continue to pay him while he gets that help.
Okay, so he is saying, I can't be there because of this.
Now he's saying that.
This situation sounds like the Browns, though, are saying, we don't want you here because of what's going on. So it's, and this is Deshaun Watson. I guess he's a non-football
participant.
Yes.
Injury or he's on some non.
And it's obviously different. But what about like what's going on with Calvin Ridley and the Falcons? Like he's still,
and Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson just had.
Right.
Lane Johnson just had a couple weeks there.
That's coming from the players, though, not the team. This is the Browns. It's what's unique. The team is saying, "All right, see you later. Go hang out at home."
Yeah. And that's allegedly what they're not allowed to do because then you'll be suspending with pay, which is not a part of the CBA. And I think that's because of the holdout situation conversation that happened at the very beginning of this thing because teams were sick of players not showing up to training camp for leverage.
Well, something has to be done in all of this stuff. I mean, this has become ridiculous. And how as the team, despite what the Players Association says and what the contract says, as a team, at some point, you've got to hold these people accountable.
To the contracts, you're saying?
You have to. These guys are making millions and millions of dollars a year, and every time they get a hangnail or they the guy.
Come on, dude! I love it.
Or the guy's not throwing the football at me, and I'm upset. And then he takes his ball and goes home. And at some point, you got to have accountability to your team. Listen, if I work for Vince McMahon and Vince yells at me one night and says, "You're doing this wrong. You need to do it this way," I'm not just going to tell him I'm going home. He's going to fire my ass, right? So it's the same thing with these guys. You're paying these guys tens of millions of dollars. And now he's upset because the ball's not getting thrown to him or the quarterback's not targeting him. And come on already. At some point, be accountable to yourself or else just go home and sit down and don't make any money.
Well, the issue is, the interesting thing is you're viewing it as 100% work, right? Hey, you are being contracted to do this particular job.
Exactly.
And I do believe mental health's a real deal. I think Lane Johnson, that interview he did with Jay Glazer is real. Like if a player in a team can come to an understanding where everybody knows what has potentially happened in the past, so the player might need a week or two here, either like that. You're not saying that.
No, I'm not.
But you're saying
that
like if you're not getting the ball, and you just want to go ahead and make it like I want to quit, which is what it looks like in the Odell Beckham Jr. situation. That is what it looks like.
Seasons are long. People are going to get hurt. People are going to have to deal with their mental health. People are going to need breaks. I get all that, and they deserve it. It happens in every walk of life. It happens in every profession. We've all had to deal with it, both as managers and also as people. But the fact of the matter is, if this comes down to a guy getting upset because he's not going to get a ball thrown to him, I mean, enough already. It's ridiculous. Grow up. Pull up your jockstrap, grow up, and play football, or just go sit on your couch.
Yeah, buy in. Basically,
exactly.
Like, hey, if your team's winning, which, by the way, I don't know how they're doing, but Baker Mayfield's going through the torn labrum and the broken humerus. You can see how a lot of people can have the exact view that Cole has in this entire thing. What are you going to say, Tom?
But what if Vince was yelling at you and you had to live in Cleveland?
All right.
Well, I had to live in New Jersey for 10 years working under him, so that was tough. Now that I moved to Texas, it's better.
No, what are you going to say?
But also, like, it's not as if he's doing that because they're telling him to go home. Like, he's getting ready for practice.
But his dad is speaking for him, so everybody automatically assumes,
turn your flashlight off, Cole. I mean, good God.
There was also reports that Odell has been
Put
great.
socks on him.
I'm just upset about it. But the fact of the matter is, why is a grown man's dad in the middle of this?
Well, it's because it's social media nowadays, right?
Don't you think the Browns would have liked Odell to distance himself from his dad's video and be like, hey, my dad means well. I love him. I didn't tell him to put that out there. I don't agree with it.
So Tom Brady came out and had an entire statement on Let's Go about what his dad said to a Boston radio station. I believe it was
NBC Sports.
NBC Sports, where his dad came out and talked about the exit. This was as the Wickersham book was kind of getting a little bit of traction on some of the stories about, Tom and Bill don't like each other. Robert Kraft called Bill Belichick the biggest fucking asshole of his entire life. And Tom had to come out and address that for that. And whenever Baker said just any conversation would be cool. So does that mean Odell Beckham Jr. is putting out these videos and then commenting and liking, and OBJ is ghosting Baker? So then it's obvious. And is that why the team is like, all right, dude, like, what are we doing?
There's obviously more to it. Like, this has obviously been building and building over the years.
Because maybe the team is sick of the distraction as well, and they're trying to figure out how to go
if they're
about
sending
it.
them home, then absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and they know that no one's going to claim him with that contract.
$8 million, there's no chance.
Yeah, the trade deadline just happened. Like,
we
if
need a
wanted
contract
to pay for
person to come on. Like, is there a contract? Like, what can they be working on?
Hey, Baker,
the money.
Baker just needs to pick
We
him
could
up.
get
Like, does
Lombardi.
this happen? Has this happened before where someone takes a pay cut to get cut?
Yeah, but then if he takes a pay cut, he's going to end up on a team that's much worse than probably
There's
where
no
he wants to
reason.
go.
Like, I guess if he really wanted to be a free agent, no, he's not going to take a pay cut because he wants to be a free agent. He doesn't want to be claimed from a bad team.
Yeah, Mike Greenberg maybe from Tampa, because Fournette last year wasn't he was the one that got cut, didn't get claimed, then he double dipped with the Jags and Tampa once he signed there.
Yeah, so maybe he knows that. But the roll of the dice here is Odell Beckham Jr., although the Cleveland Browns are potentially done with the relationship. It seems like. I don't know. But maybe they'll be able to work on it too. Who knows? You know, these things, you never know how they work out, especially all it takes sometimes, especially amongst very prideful people, is one genuine statement from either side.
But I think, Pat, and you've been through it, and AJ as well, a lot more than I have. But I think when it becomes public, like it's public now, I think you've gone past the point of no return. I think at this point that it's come out publicly like it is, I don't think you can go back now. And I think the relationship is probably over, and they're going to have to figure out a way to get out of this situation and move on. Because once it becomes public, you've gone past that point of having these secret talks and trying to put all this away.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's going to be difficult for sure. And at this point, it seems like all reports were that Odell Beckham Jr. was planning on playing this Sunday.
Yeah.
He was probably just going to go into his own world and just say, hey, I'm here. I'm just here so I won't get fined, but also I'll play. Like, I'll play. Then the Cleveland Browns are like, well, that is not good for our culture. That is not good for our locker room. That is not good for the middle of where we are right now. So you are excused from being here. And then I assume, and by the way, Andrew Berry, I know he's a young GM. He's Harvard. This dude is he is an incredibly intelligent human. I'd assume the people around him are the same. So them going through the CBA, because who knows how many times this type of situation has happened in the past, and how has it been dealt with in the past, especially with a player like Odell Beckham Jr. They have no clue if anybody's going to pick him up on a waiver wire. I don't think any of us know. I don't think any of us have any idea, because the Jags have the money to do it. Well, Urban Meyer would be like, yep. I would like to have Odell Beckham Jr. on the team. Is that something they do? And then Odell ends up in Jacksonville.
Sorry to cut you off, but if you were the coach of a bad team or the GM or owner, wouldn't you be worried about claiming Odell if you thought you might get him and you only have 1 or 2 wins on the year so far? Like, what's going to make this guy come into our facility and all of a sudden want to play here? We're worse than the Browns.
So the threat is that he just will retire and not go.
Or just, I don't know. I don't know what he could be.
Well, he's got a track record.
Aqib Talib did that, right?
Yeah.
Aqib Talib got traded from the LA Rams to the Miami Dolphins, I think.
That's what it was.
He's like, yeah, I retire. Gronk did that whenever they were going to trade him.
Detroit.
Detroit. He's like, nah, I retire. You can't trade me there. So is that something maybe? Is that what if Odell Beckham Jr. was to come to a financial settlement with the Cleveland Browns, okay, to get out of this contract? He retires. Now they still own his rights. Would they have to just trade the rights at that point because the retirement thing already kicked in? Because that, for me, for instance, I had years left on my contract when I retired. If I was to come back, like let's say last year, for potentially the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, when the kicker and the punter went onto the COVID list on a Monday, and they had a game on that Sunday, and I know a lot of people down there, and I kick and I punt, and everybody down there basically knows that. So maybe that happens if I had the antibodies and I didn't have to sit in a hotel for 5 days.
Mm-hmm. Can you trade rights after the trade deadline?
They would have had to trade me to Tampa, but would the Tampa have picked up my contract now is the question. So then the trade, do we go just right back to that thing, and then you can't trade because we're past the trade deadline, which is what you do. I don't know.
I hear that Barry's talking to Odell's representatives, that makes me think terms of release. And in that case, they're trying to come up with some financial settlement to release him, and hence he would be free to sign anywhere.
So his contract would still be 8.05 if it was to go somewhere else, but if he doesn't end up somewhere else, we only want to pay you $5 million. Could you put that where we'll only pay you $4 million or $5 million, whatever it would be? Could you put that in the contract? Is there any grounds for that in the past? I wonder.
If you could trade him, maybe, but you can't trade him.
Yeah, and they know that if he goes on the waiver wire with that $8 million still there.
Right,
No,
no
one's
one's
going to
gonna
pick
get
him
him.
up, and then they'll be on the hook for that. So they're trying to talk that number down, but he doesn't want to come
Well, that's
down
what I'm
'cause why would
saying.
he?
I think what
Right.
they're trying to do is I think they're trying to set a clause in there that if you don't get claimed, we would like to only pay you this amount. And I
Okay.
wonder if there's any.
Can you do that?
Yeah,
though?
that's what
Does
I'm
the
saying.
PA, is there something with the PA?
Oh, fuck the PA. The fact that he even has to go through the fucking waiver wire at this
I'm
stage
telling
of his
you.
career. I mean, are you kidding me, dude? What are we even doing there?
And why would he ever accept something like, yeah, sure, I'll take less money so that you guys aren't on the
Well,
hook
he
for
might
me?
want to. He might want to.
But also, like you were
But-
saying, like if it's Jacksonville or like Philadelphia or the Lions or something like that, what says he's not just going to be like, fuck it, I'm not going there. Like, I'm not going to go play for the Jaguars. Not happening.
The other problem with this dude is he's got a track record of being a pain in the ass.
Wow.
And being unbelievable at football.
Oh, no, and I agree with you, and he's a great talent. But if you go back to when he was with the Giants signed the guy to a 5-year contract, right? What was it, 2 or 3 months later, they got rid of the guy? Because he was becoming too much of a pain in the rear end.
Wow.
They got rid of him.
Pain
They
in
sent him
the
to
rear
Cleveland.
end.
Now you're in Cleveland. You're having the same situation with this dude. And to your point, if he goes to a Jacksonville or to Detroit, he's not going to want to play there. These guys are going to win 2 games. Then if you sign him to a big contract and he goes to a big team, what's to stop you now from a year later of him not getting, I don't get the football, I'm not going to play anymore. This guy's a track record of this, Pat.
Yeah. I do understand where that thought
And
is
again,
very valid.
I'm looking at this as a fan, not as a former player, not as a coach or anything else. I'm looking at it as a guy just watching football every week and reading the stories and understanding that this guy has caused issues everywhere he's
Yeah,
gone.
and this is also coming from a guy wearing those particular flip-flops with no socks.
There you go.
But also, it's very valid. Everything you were saying is 100% valid. And it seems like they said this in Cleveland. They say, hey, what happened in New York is going to happen in Cleveland. Why would he want to go to Cleveland or whatever? And then I think Cleveland and Odell kind of took offense to people saying that. But now it feels like it has reached a point where it's not good. Now, there's 32 teams. This is only 2 situations, right? Maybe it is actually fucked up situations where he does feel this way. And maybe his side is one that's very valid as well. Or maybe, as it appears, like, okay, tough times don't last, tough people do. When tough times come, it's always a little bit of a problematic situation for the guy. And why would you, I guess, want to pay $8.05 million if you're a terrible team trying to rebuild? So maybe the Browns shouldn't worry. Oh, they are. Nobody's going to pick them up.
Yeah, no one's going to pick him up with that
For
number.
half a year?
No.
There
For
was
$8 million?
There was a couple teams up there, like the Ravens were up there. They could maybe use a wide receiver.
And maybe he gets there, loves everything that goes on, completely different culture over there. You know, maybe him and Lamar already have a relationship, I would assume, and that's just a much different thing because the question has always been, you know, just like quarterbacks see what's going on when Tom Brady goes to Tampa Bay, gets control of the roster and does his thing, just like other people, Russell Wilson potentially, and maybe even Aaron sees this, and Peyton did this originally whenever he went to Denver and was basically handed the keys of it. There's other positions that see this as well. I mean, Odell Beckham Jr. sees that Antonio Brown just joined the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and became a Super Bowl champion 12 weeks later.
Yeah.
There are players that have been around the NFL for a long time that understand their legacy. LaShawn McCoy, he picked one in the Chiefs and also down in Tampa or whatever. There's other position groups that maybe their resume on paper is one that, hey, warrants a conversation, but the legacy without any winning situations is one that maybe will be something that will haunt them forever. And they see what's going on with these super teams. But you would think that Cleveland would be one of those super teams unless it's Baker Mayfield potentially that's trying to run them out of there.
That's what I was going to say. Like, Cole has a good point with the Giants and the Browns, but then you watch that 10.5-minute highlight tape of OBJ being kind of wide open, and, you know, he's just not getting the ball.
So is he wasting his talent is another question that you people don't want to talk about. You people.
Well, why does Baker Mayfield, does Baker Mayfield not want to win football games?
Does he not want to hit that big contract that's on the other side of this?
Does he not want to throw the ball to an open Odell Beckham Jr.? I don't understand the theory of that at all.
No, he wants to, but he doesn't. Like, he just misses those throws. Like, I think
maybe
that
he
whole
wants
entire...
to throw to him so bad he just can't hit him.
Yeah.
If that's the case with Odell too,
Need this one.
like, why doesn't Odell just shut up for the rest of this season, stay in Cleveland, and then next year they will cut him?
Because he's been a great teammate thus far.
True, but he could take a pay cut and go play for Brady or, you know, Mahomes, or like play for like go out to LA and play for the Rams. Like, he could do that.
I think that's what he's trying to do here. I think he's trying to get out, sign for the rest of the season halfway on a short a small deal, and then he gets the offseason to re-up for a big deal with another team if he wants.
But he's been a good teammate since he's been to Cleveland. He's been very quiet. There's been noise. Who knows? This would just be an additional, like, hey, okay, we'll redo this deal for $1 million for the rest of the season. I'll just sit out, and then I'll gear up for the free agency after the season.
Or I think he goes and signs a small money deal with someone else to compensate for the money he's missing out on from Cleveland. If Cleveland releases him and say, we'll give you $3 million to just go away, now he becomes a free agent. He can sign. He's
got to go through the waiver wires. If he's only $3 million, somebody will pick him up. You know, like that's the.
Or can they just pay him the $3 million?
It's wild seeing.
And release him.
Excited to see how Andrew Berry figures it the fuck out, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, happy it's you, not me, dude.
Yeah. Good luck.
Hey, good luck out there. There's a lot to chit chat about that. Let's go to Stephon Gilmore, AJ. Before we get to we haven't taken a break, right?
No.
Well, we should probably get to a break.
On the other side, some Stephon Gilmore news.
Oh, is that a tease?
Whoa.
Hey, we're a fucking show, dude. We do teases. Look at us.
Not bad.
That situation's nuts.
Pretty pumped. We got an old white in studio.
Oh, yeah. Look at that clown.
Thank you for coming.
What's the double rings, Mike? What's the right-hand ring?
So you'll make me tell the story on national.
Well, it's international.
No, you don't have
international.
to.
Hey,
come on.
No. 4 minutes from now.
This is my original, and this is my new one.
Oh.
And same wife.
Pretty
she
simple
just wanted to update the ring.
Oh, good.
So,
yeah.
30 years married, by the way.
Hey! Hey, the Coles then, now, and forever.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
It's WWE too. Back in 4 minutes. This is the Pat McAfee Show with Michael Cole in studio and AJ Hawk in an attic. See you in 4.
It can be done. I mean, we signed Josh Freeman and Ryan Lindley, brought them in for a Tuesday workout, signed them. They were in the meeting room on Wednesday. You remember, Pat, I told the whole team, I said, hey, just mind your own business. Everybody do your frickin' job. Don't watch one snap of either of these guys. Do not watch any of fucking practice.
Hold on.
No judgment. Trust our coaches. Trust our offensive staff. They'll get these two guys ready to go. And sure enough, we went and beat the Titans, to finish the season 8-8. It was one of the most memorable wins we had, because of how we did it.
I think so. And Josh Freeman and Ryan Lindley, obviously incredible people, and they came in. And you did say in your Tuesday presser, I've told this story before, where we'll have a package for Pat McAfee. And I was like, wait a fucking minute. It's the last game of the season. Okay, we've lost 10 quarterbacks. There's no way I'm dying right now out there. But that was obviously a joke, obviously. But you bring in Freeman and Lindley. You making the proclamation to the team before they came in. Hey, do not watch, all right? Just don't judge. No judgment. No judgment. Do not watch. And then me and Vinatieri, obviously, immediately upon hearing that, we're like, all right, so we got to go fucking watch this guy. And it was bad. That first day of practice was bad. I mean, it was bad. Thursday, still banging the drum here. Hey, let's not judge. Let's just keep putting in the work. Let's just keep going. It started looking a little bit better. None of us could have expected getting that win on Sunday. You're right. That is a very memorable game, and it's because of the adverse conditions that we're under,
Yeah, no doubt about it. And if you guys could have been at the workout on Tuesday, you would have said, no friggin' way you signed these two guys. Because you remember Josh Freeman had a cannon, right? Yeah. So you know how Frog and T and those guys had set up at the different areas? Like if you're throwing, quick game, you got a quick out or a slant. And then you go, 5-step drop, 7-step drop. He didn't complete one pass. He almost threw the football. He almost threw he tore up their hands, number one. Number two, the balls were bouncing off the indoor like BBs off a tin can. Almost threw a football through the wall of the indoor facility. And then we go, okay, that's good, Josh. Ryan, you're up. So then we get Ryan in there, right? Ryan's accurate as shit, but he's got zero velocity on the ball, right? It's taking forever. And I'm asking T and Frog, because they know, our two equipment guys, what do you think? He goes, man, that's an easy ball to catch. I mean, it's barely coming in here, Coach. I don't know if he's going to have to anticipate his throws really well. So I'm thinking, holy shit. And I'm like, is there anybody? That's it. Coney Island Josh Freeman was playing for the Coney Island Thrashers at the time, serving, soft serve ice cream at halftime for $250 a game. And Ryan Lindley, he was driving Uber. He was hanging out in New York City. He was driving Uber at the time. his girlfriend was training for the Olympics, and he was in New York City driving.
Those great guys.
Uber.
Hey, listen, a lot of ricochet shots.
Unbelievable.
Hey, these guys, unbelievable. Hey, the gabagool on these guys, Coach. Honestly, they were very good, but they. I assume Raj had to walk in there and do a full, you know what I mean?
Yeah, curtsy.
Hey, we're bringing a big sports stooge thing over here. Is that okay? Yep, deal. Perfect. Let's get some tea. Let's get the fuck out of here. How do you think that went between Raj and Clean? You think she liked them?
Yeah. I bet she liked him. She probably knows a lot. Like, what if she's sitting there and then all of a sudden she's like, so what about the Sean Watson situation? What about the Sean Watson situation? What about the Sean Watson situation? That was spot on accent.
Hit that one out of the park.
Like, what if she's really dialed in to the NFL?
Every day is game day for these guys. It's showtime on the Pat McAfee Show.
Well, welcome back to that show. How you doing, AJ?
Good. What's going on? How's Mike doing with your what you guys do during break when you just chat and hang out?
Mike Cole's deaf, so he can't hear a fucking thing we say.
Yeah.
I said 3 words to him in the 3 commercial breaks.
Well, he's deaf. He's actually
That
deaf.
is true. I'm actually like 65% hearing loss.
Jeez.
So, what happened? Man, still doing it.
That's why they make, you've seen them, they make these special in-ear pieces that go underneath my headsets on air. So I can actually hear.
And so whenever, literally on Friday nights when I have to like ask him a question, you know, like quick, he literally has to go, huh? It does the whole thing. And I'm like, man, I appreciate your commitment to the entertainment because that's 100% because of you having a headset on for 25 years of your life.
Either that or Waco.
Yeah.
The gunshots in Waco.
One of the or the bomb blast in Bosnia.
Yeah, the Fire River thing.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, yeah. Fire.
How about the presidential campaign? Yeah, the Fire River thing is crazy.
Crazy.
This guy was on a boat in the middle of a river. It was on fire, stuck, reporting. Hey, he says blah blah blah, doing that whole thing. This guy, he was out. You were literally out on the Bosnia war. Where was it at?
I was in Bosnia for 3 tours in Sarajevo.
Who?
Sarajevo, the capital city.
Of course.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Desert Storm.
That is where World War I began, when the Archduke Ferdinand was assassinated in Sarajevo.
Bingo. You covered World War I?
No, not quite.
1,000 years old.
But anyways, you've been everywhere, and that's probably why you are.
But this is my first visit here, and I'm very excited to be here with you guys.
Oh, let's go! Fun fact about this place. Used to be a shithole, this room.
Really?
Yeah. Then we kind of built it up a little bit, and
it's pretty
slowly
good.
but surely it's been going back to its original scene.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay.
Yep.
Well, whenever people from
by
Ohio
the way,
come in.
AJ, this guy is obsessed with my flip-flops and my feet. I'm watching him because I'm sitting across from him. He has been looking at my feet since I walked in the studio at noon.
I just can't believe this is what you wore.
He and Rex Ryan.
I wear this every week. It's flip-flops.
No, that is not.
No.
It's actually the complete opposite of that.
They're disgusting.
How.
Let Mike be Mike. Mike, you just do you. Don't worry about it.
AJ, thank you.
Oh, fuck you both.
Yeah, you're both clowns.
I mean, you know what I mean?
Mike, do you know, Mike, I heard reports that Connor was he was at the January 6th insurrection. Do we know if it's true or not?
Well, I don't know if he was
He looks like the guy in the horn.
No, he was not the Speaker of the House.
Yeah, I was here, damn it.
There was a Viking that was a Speaker of the House.
Jesus Christ.
And it was not him. Anyways. That's politics.
You guys are pretty defensive about this whole thing.
It's because you guys are throwing allegations all over the place. You look like a clown. AJ looks like a clown.
Bunch of clowns.
Bunch of clowns.
We weren't there, bud. We can look however we want.
Exactly.
Let's go to the phones.
Sure.
Let's go to Nick in Maryland. What's going on, Nick? Can't thank you enough for calling and letting us change the subject. What do you want to talk about?
Hey, fellas. Boys, quick shout-out to the Plum High School Mustangs for beating my alma mater, the Greensburg-Salem Golden Lions, last weekend.
That's who they play these
in a
days.
winning in playoff game.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I did not know we were playing against Greensburg-Salem. I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Golden Lions, baby.
Oh, this is a football game?
Oh, yeah, winning in playoff game last Friday night.
Hey. Angelo Bellino,
Hell yeah.
game winner. Bellino, freshman kicker, hit a game winner. I got a chance.
How about it, huh?
Hey, how about it? I got a chance to watch him kick during the summer when I was back in Plum, And I just loved his work ethic. He kicked. I was being told by his uncle and other people, he's up there 4 to 5 nights a week for hours and hours on the same place. Basically the same thing I was doing. I love that kid. Hit a game winner to bury your sorry ass Greensburg Salem Lions.
Oh, yeah.
What do you want to talk about, brother?
They are sorry. No, I want to talk about after Boswell got his head completely fucking deflated last weekend.
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to affect his kicking moving forward? And if it does, will this come back to Tomlin later on down the road in the season?
Oh, Nick.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
What's that about?
That was a scathing question.
Yeah.
Ricochet.
No, they just tried to make a play. They never ever do it. It worked out terribly. Chris Boswell got killed. They had to go for it because they didn't have a kicker. Ended up winning them the game when Fryer caught a game winner on 4th down. I think Boswell will come back. He'll be okay. No big deal. Might have a headache for the next couple of days. I don't know. AJ, you've had 0 documented concussions somehow. How many headaches do you have? And do those last days after the game, after you take a big hit, or did none of that happen to you?
I was very lucky to never have any of those lasting headaches or anything like that. I don't know. Has Boswell cleared the protocol yet?
I'm not sure. And how do you clear it? Have you ever been put in there? No, never.
No, absolutely not. But you, I think what you do, you got to, there's like steps. You know, your first step, you got to be able to show them, I don't know, take your dumb test and say, hey, this is compared to our baseline. Cool, you're good to go. Thanks.
Can't concuss rocks, says AJ Hawk. But that is a very amazing feat that you had in the era that he played.
Yeah.
Okay, look at Boswell. Boswell, probably a better athlete than most people that will talk shit on Chris Boswell. I don't know.
And 100% a better athlete than anyone that will talk about it.
Okay, he's great. Bombs footballs. He could probably throw a ball well, although it was a little bit of an ugly ball broke up on him. He was about to get decapitated. I think that could potentially affect
He didn't
them.
win punt, pass, and kick, though.
Yeah, he's not the record holder either. I agree. I mean, there's levels to this shit, of course, but what I'm saying is Boswell, incredible athlete, has played probably a lot of sports throughout his days. He took one of those shots, and he's out for weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe, or out for days or whatever. AJ played in the lead with your head era.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what is wrong with your cranium? What does your brain and head have that maybe Boswell doesn't, you think? What is it? Is it a carbon fiber hood you got under there? What is it you think about your jaw and your head?
I mean, first off, this tweet and that picture, you say clearly, like, it's not clearly head to head. Yeah,
Clearly!
Come on.
His
Clearly!
Hey, your
his
Ohio
Rydell was
showing,
in that
dude.
chest plate.
Hey, Gene Steratore, okay? Fucking, what, crown him? Greatest ref ever?
Yeah.
Are we crowning him?
Yeah, crown.
Crown him.
Even though Chris Boswell is a kicker by position, on this fake field goal attempt, he is a passer. A defender cannot hit the passer forcibly in the head or neck area. In my opinion, this should have been a 15-yard penalty for roughing in #Pitt versus Clee. Gene Steratore says it's clearly a helmet-to-helmet. And AJ, I'm sorry, the guy with no documented concussions in the helmet-to-helmet era, you don't think that was the case here? You don't think it was a cheap shot?
Well, I don't think it's a cheap shot by any means, but no, but by this picture, he was not trying to target him. He was trying to keep his head down low. His face mask is right in his chest, but the crown of his helmet hits the chin. I understand why you are saying that, but I'm saying this is not a blatant, like, dirty hit.
But didn't the official say that if it's head and neck?
Yeah, it's Gene, not the official, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
Gene Steratore,
Okay.
probably greatest of all time.
Yeah,
greatest. Got it. Sorry. Apologize.
It's amazing you know all the football rules because every Friday night I hear you try to explain the rules of the matches we're on, and sometimes
Sometimes they're not right. Sometimes they're not right.
How about that trick or street fight, dude? That
Oh,
was awesome, man. Awesome.
Yeah, you had the greatest line ever. I couldn't stop laughing when they put the pumpkin on the head, and you said, it must be dark in there. There's no candle.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to get pretty stupid in there when those things are happening. I have so much fun over there. You know who'd be good at it as well? This dude would be good at just viewing, not this travel schedule with how many kids he has and everything like that and having to fly around, but AJ's dumb thoughts, one every probably 4 minutes of what's going on would be amazing. It is so much fun. It's the greatest job that I've ever experienced in my life. I'm saying that strictly because you have to do all the actual work, and I just get to sit there and just have fun.
But when the red light goes on, it's fun. I mean, there's a lot leading up to it and a lot of stuff that happens during the week. But Friday nights at 8 o'clock, when that red light goes on, it is the best job in the world.
It is so much
because
fun.
you get to be, play-by-play guys and color analysts, right? But you also get to be a storyteller, a narrator.
You're part of the show too.
Yeah, you get to be an actor. You're part of the show. It's it's the best of every world that's possible and what we do.
Yeah, and I'm very lucky to do it alongside you.
Get back in there, Cole. Get the singlet back on.
Yeah, get that singlet. Get the coal train and the coal miners out.
Yep.
You need to do it.
One day. Well, you got a team with me, though. I need a tag team partner.
It's going to be a no from me, dog. Let's get to a break here. Hour 2 is wrapping up. I believe we'll have Michael Lombardi in the third hour.
Oh!
Former general manager. It was a good idea to get somebody on from the back room. I texted Lombo. He said he's got something until something. We'll get him in the third hour. He'll break down everything that they're going through with Odell in Cleveland. That is a massive story. Stephon Gilmore, we have to talk about. Rams general manager Les Snead is awesome as well. Loaded hour 3. Ain't that right, AJ?
Well, I cannot wait. Hour 3 is always the best, right?
You know, some say worst or best. It's never in the middle. And I think
Fine line.
Yeah, bingo. There is a fine line. Yeah, I mean, we're tight-roping like we're the Wallendas.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. Every single third
Creating
hour.
magic like Mike White.
Yeah. Fuck Mike White. But we are creating magic like Mike.
Minus 10.5.
Chris Angel.
By the way, I like Mike White. Okay, probably a good guy, but not tonight. Because tonight's the night that the risk-free same-game parlay, Thursday Night Football, Thursday parlay hits. Yeah! Let's have an hour 3 on the other side. I think we have potentially introduced people to the people of Pittsburgh, and I think a lot of people have potentially taken liking to more things out of Pittsburgh because of it, and for that, incredibly honored to be a part of. With that being said, when a video hits the internet like one did yesterday, and a Yinzer is showing off what a Yinzer is like at home, behind closed doors, when being caught on a candid camera, a lot of people immediately tweet us and go, oh, we thought you were lying, Donner, about what Pittsburgh's like. It's like, no. Yinzers are electric factory. Yinzers are hilarious. Yinzers are passionate. And this one particular Yinzer took the world by storm yesterday. Go ahead and run this thing.
A direct snap to Nod. That's my call.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Spread them on, do a direct snap to Nod.
Nausea.
Copper fit knee braces.
Works hard.
They're going to run it right up the middle for 0 yards.
That's what they're going to do.
0.
Why don't they bring in Watt, the fullback?
Yeah, they don't need that. They need blocking.
He's going to pass.
Oh, he's not.
What's he back there
He's
for?
going to pass. No, he's not.
He's going to hand it off to that guy with no momentum. That's why.
That's why.
He did it.
He did.
He did a slant. Touchdown. Go! You better pick him up and put him down, motherfucker! Slow motherfucker!
So mad.
Why did he pick him up and put him down?
I don't know what that means.
Dad, he's a receiver. That's a touchdown. That's bullshit, Dad. Look at where the guy comes to catch him.
How old is this guy?
Who knows?
50?
He could be 70, could be 30.
See, that's what you do with the slant all the time. It's always there.
All right, so this guy obviously captivated the internet. Epitome of Yinzer, at eYinzer is the Twitter account. And a lot of people immediately asked us, do you know who this guy is? And I think a lot of people are potentially saying that in jest. We do. That guy's from Plum. Yeah, we have seen those videos before they went on the internet. He is a beauty. Joseph Montana, Italian-American out of Western Pennsylvania.
It was a kidnapping attempt of his infant grandchild.
Yeah, in the house. They came into the house, right?
Yeah.
And then he was sitting on top of the stairs. He's like, put the baby down. And they said no. And he said, ah? And they said, no, I'm taking your granddaughter. He said, ah? And they said, I'm taking it. He goes, you asked for it. Skechers up, Skechers down. Yeah.
Dart.
There's no way. Then he ran down the stairs, and the baby caught the baby, caught the granddaughter after the beak of the lady that was trying to snatch the baby passed out. It was like one of those, boom, and they like dropped it. And Joe Montana, he actually slid down the stairs.
Head first.
You know, like that, how people surf almost down the stairs. He did that and caught his granddaughter like this, and then he picked up the ball, and he actually put foot on kidnapping suspect, called the police with his Bluetooth and waited there.
Unbelievable.
That's fucking Joe Montana, dude.
That's right.
times, whenever you're working on golf, do you still have the same routine that you had whenever you were younger now, or is it much different? And how often do you just go down there and just hit Phil Mickelson flop shots all day? But anytime you turn one sideways and you flatten it, you're like, oh, watch this. I'm going to do like Phil Mickelson does. And then you just go out there. Normally, you either blade it, hit it straight up in the air to the right, or you somehow get lucky and it goes, and everybody's like, oh my God.
Incredible shot.
Phil Mickelson. That's what that has kind of become, and I remember you hit the one over your head that one time. That was a mind blower from me. Is the short game something you've always just been good at, or are you good at it because that's all you work like so much on it all the time?
When I was a kid, my dad had a little chipping area in our backyard and putting green, and so I would just go out there and hit balls because I couldn't really go to the golf course, and all I did was shots inside 30 yards. And it got very monotonous to hit the same shot over and over, so I'd go behind the avocado tree. I'd go back around the other trees and bushes and rough and so forth. And so I would get creative as a kid hitting those shots. And you kind of learn a couple of things. But what I would say, Pat, is that there's really only one way to chip effectively, because you're coming in with no coverage on the ball. You're coming in with so much loft that the leading edge is coming in first. So you have to have your weight forward. That's it. You have to have your weight forward and drive the club down into the ground. And most people, when they do that, their hands either come back or their weight comes back and the leading edge comes up and blades it. Now, you can kind of flip your hands a little bit if you have a good lie. Like if the ball's sitting in the first cut or it's sitting up, but that technique will not work all the time. And so that's why I prefer and believe that the technique where you have your weight forward, your hands forward, and you drive the club down to the ground will be consistent every time. So lay that club flat, move that ball off your left toe, get that ball off your front left, there you go, and open that face flat and just drive the club down into the ground. The ball will pop up like a gem.
I think I'm a scratch golfer.
Let's go!
I think it makes sense, by the way, that your childhood was spent within 30 yards of a green. My childhood was spent kicking a soccer ball off the side of a house. Worked out for me. It's worked out for you much better.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show. Hour 3 on this risk-free same game parlay Thursday night football. Thursday, November 4th begins right now. Yeah. Hey, Jay, how come that beat drop never makes your bones move at all? You never catch a rhythm or anything in that. It never gets you juiced up? What's going on?
No, it definitely gets me juiced up. I just don't show it, like you do.
Oh, so you have a different way.
Internal.
Yeah.
Big internal guy.
He doesn't dance. Yep. He leans and bops.
That's right.
Psychopath.
He's got rocks for brains.
Oh,
he's
listen.
relaxed. He's cool.
Oh, fuck it. I don't need to hear it from you wearing this. I mean, have you ever had feet just stare at you for hours?
Oh. I mean, no, but actually, you're staring at my feet for hours.
No,
that's the problem.
When I sit down,
it's making me extremely uncomfortable, too.
No, right? Fuck off. You're uncomfortable.
I don't know if it's this fetish thing you got going or something.
Yeah,
but
he's rock
really
hard for sure.
He's not. He is not, because he is me.
Well, I didn't go that far.
I thought that's what you were saying.
No. Well, of course you did. That's your problem. That's your problem.
You were holding a Roman read before the last break, I feel like, and you didn't do it.
No, actually, it was a bidet read, which is how I feel right now, because I got shit staring at me. It's unbelievable, but it's great to have everybody.
Jets, Jets.
Tonight, that team will take on the Indianapolis Colts here in Indianapolis. I believe Michael Cole and I will be in the building there. We'll be watching. Are you going to wear a Jets jersey, Michael Cole?
No, sir. I think that's the dumbest thing ever.
Oh,
adult men wearing jerseys.
What is your problem?
Yeah. Not a problem at all. I'm a huge fan. I've been a fan for 50 years of the Jets, but I don't go around wearing jerseys.
Yeah, okay. Well, this guy.
Jets.
What else is dumb,
Very
Mike?
few players.
I didn't wear my singlet around town when I was wrestling.
Different.
Hey, he's undefeated at WrestleMania, by the way. the way. I do get reminded of that. AJ, I don't know what you were going to ask there. Kind of got caught up in all the discussion of how disgusting whatever Michael Cole just said. But this is a fascinating game tonight because 10.5 seems like a lot, AJ. Doesn't, I mean, even as somebody that has aligned a same game parlay that hopefully will take millions and millions of dollars from FanDuel tonight, and I think the Colts are going to do well. 10.5 is still a lot, isn't it? I feel like they're telling people to take the Jets, don't you?
It does feel that way. I mean, yeah, it seems like more. I thought this game would be like 6.5 maybe for the Colts. Not this high, though.
Yeah, and that's why I brought it down for the alternate spread to 5.5 on same game parlay. And it wasn't just, by the way, that wasn't my idea. That was Tone Diggs' idea. He initially wanted it, let's go to -0.5 because that would be winning. You're not a tie, maybe. Okay, and if a tie hits, you'll just go ahead and charge that to the game. Say, okay, we did that. But a -0.5 point versus the money line was like a difference of plus 50 odds or something. Like it was
80 points.
Yeah, 80 points or something like that. So the -0.5 was a smarter bet. So that's where we started. And then Diggs starts going, you like them by field goal? You like them by touchdown? We can make it different than 10.5. We settled on 5.5. So hopefully the Colts win by at least 6. But this game feels, and this line feels like they're hammering. They want people to hammer the Jets. Is that how it's looking on the book at Tone Diggs?
See, it's a weird line. Like, I think so. There's an overreaction because of the way Carson looked last week and the way the Jets looked last week. So that immediately makes me favor the team that looked like shit last week, which is the Colts, who is also the better team. Also got a game of tape on Mike White. If I had to lean a direction, it'd probably be with the Colts.
What's everybody else doing though?
Everyone else, the public. I'm pulling it up right now.
Because Tone hosts Hammer Dahn. Okay, Tone alongside Gumpy host Hammer Dahn. 15 minutes after this show ends at YouTube.com/Hammer Dahn. And they have been on a winning streak for like 7 months now. Yeah. This is no shit. That is not a lie. They scour through FanDuel Sportsbook to find bets that they like, and they announce them publicly, which in the past, the gambling gods would shit on and make you lose at some point. That was always the excuse. Gumpy and Diggs have found a way to maintain success through this entire run. That's why Hammer Dahn is so successful. So you saying that your reaction is to go on Carson Wentz and the Colts who stunk is great to hear from me, and that's why I'm happy you're on the console. All right, I'm happy you contributed this week, as opposed to you were in your. He was in his feelings a little bit.
Oh, yeah, last week.
We've all lost, Tone. Listen, just because you never lose on Hammer Down doesn't mean the same game parlay that is up over plus 1,000 something. That means it's going to lose sometime. You can't take that heat. What is the public saying, though?
60% of the people are betting the Jets.
See? So that's where we feel good.
And now more money, 60% of the money is on the Colts.
Yes.
So the bigger money is coming in on the Colts.
Oh, so the Sharps bringing it back on the Colts. Carson Wentz.
Do you want to take from a Jets fan?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
So I mean, obviously,
do I want a take? I thought you said, do I want to take from? I thought we were going to bet. I thought we were going to bet.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to
bet. No, I'm not betting you. Listen, I think I want the Jets to win. Obviously, it would be a great story if Mike White comes on the road and beats you guys in Indianapolis. But the bottom line is, I've lived this for so many years. I don't think there's a chance in hell the Jets win this game tonight, and I don't even know if the Jets will lose under 10 points. I can't see it happening. I think, to your point earlier, a week of tape on Mike White. Remember, they played at home last week, and that crowd was jacked.
Mike White chance
when they finally believed, and everybody came together. That was the most complete game that this team has played all year. Probably the most complete game it's played in 2 years.
10.
The defense was incredible. The special teams are great. The offense was great. Remember, White didn't throw a pass over 15 yards that entire game.
A lot of running back throws.
And so I think...
Which is another thing to potentially think about, but Darius Leonard runs around very fast.
Oh, yeah. I just don't think there's a way the Jets win the game tonight. I want it to happen, and I hope it happens, and I hope I'm there so I can rub it in your face, but I just don't see it happening.
AJ, your thoughts on everything that was just said there about the Jets and the Colts from old COVID Cowboy Tone Diggs?
Well, I have not been a lifelong Jets fan like Mike Cole, but another interesting thing, a Jets legend, Nick Mangold, loves wearing thong sandals with jeans. He did it all through college, would never even change in snow, wind, sleet, doesn't care. So you have that in common, Mike.
Yeah, you and Nick Mangold, man. Similar people.
Yeah.
One of the best to ever play.
Colts advantage,
agreed.
That stadium, they may fall asleep tonight.
True.
The Jets.
Oh, yeah. I thought we were talking Nick Mangold. I didn't know.
It's a quiet stadium.
Hey, listen, not with
Not on Thursday night.
Not tonight.
Not
tonight.
Are you there swinging the baby hammer to get him going?
No. Hammer has grown exponentially since the first time. I have no idea. I'm excited to hear it, though. I'm pumped for it.
Are you a little worried? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
AJ.
What if it's like Carrot Top? Are you gonna be pissed that they didn't ask you?
That'd be awesome.
No. Listen. No.
He's jacked, by the way. Don't mess with him.
No, I agree. I wouldn't. And his props are second to none. I'm a Carrot. Don't even think that you're going to drive a wedge between me and Carrot Top, okay? Because that's not going to happen.
I would never try that.
Yeah, it sounded like you were trying to maybe have me bury him, but what if it's Carrot Top? Now, I do believe Carrot Top did get into a couple parties that I was not allowed into and was not allowed to be added to the guest list on. So maybe people would think, oh, you probably hate that guy. Can't hate Carrot Top. Too much talent to hate Carrot Top. But also, I don't even know the Colts know that I'm going. This is coming from somewhere else. Whenever I do the hammer thing, I don't really get to chill out. It's more of like a go situation. And normally on Sundays, I like to watch all the games. So I can't go to games. So the fact that it's a Thursday night game, it's against the Jets, I'm getting just to go enjoy the game. I mean, I'm like pretty excited about it. And then if we can dunk on Michael Cole in the process.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, are we talking grade A night? My dog's out of the hospital.
Let's go.
Have a night, boys.
We're having a day.
Your dog was in the hospital as well?
Yeah.
Oh, so was mine. There you go.
Hey, happy to hear your dog's okay.
Yeah.
Doing well.
There we go.
Thank you.
My dog had surgery.
Oh, what for?
She had a cancer tumor on her back right thigh. It was larger than they thought once they got in there, so they got it out there. They kept her overnight to give her some IVs and stuff, I think, and some medicine. But Valerie hates being caged up.
Mm-hmm.
So she was supposed to lay down all night. She stood and said, get me the fuck out of here the entire night, which is my fucking girl, and she is back home now. That's fantastic. So everything seems to be going good. So you know what that means?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The universe, hey. Well,
You gonna send her to Fouch to get trained or what?
Well,
Jesus,
AJ.
AJ. Shut up, dude.
You're disgusting.
Listen. I don't know what you were alluding to there or hoping for,
Crossed
but
the line.
Fouch ain't training any of my
caged.
dogs.
I knew Val didn't want to be caged. I want to keep
Crossed
her
the
safe.
line.
We need to call Michael Lombardi so we can get this conversation back, okay, on to football and things like that. But I'm happy your dog feels better.
Thank you.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
And thank you. You too.
Are you a little worried that when the same game parlay hits tonight that you're going to have to go to every single Thursday night football game going forward for it to hit?
I don't have time.
Okay.
Maybe we retire the risk-free same game parlay.
Maybe. Yeah, move it to Sunday.
Maybe we do make a. Oh, maybe. Hey, that'll be talked about tomorrow, but it'll only be discussed after we dance.
Hell yeah.
You know, tomorrow's celebration should be fantastic, and then we go down to Evansville, Indiana.
Oh, beautiful city.
That should be a great night down there for SmackDown, right, Cole?
Yeah, SmackDown's gonna be awesome.
All right, this
Pumped.
guy. What is
It is. It is. And we're back on Fox.
No!
We're back on Fox tomorrow night.
Yeah,
no
but-
FS1.
Yeah, because stupid baseball is running
About
around.
time.
Anyways,
talk about
it-
Dansby Swanson.
huh?
Dansby Swanson, your new favorite player. What do
I
you
love
mean?
him. I love him so much. I would have went and found him on Fox Sports 1.
Exactly. Or TBS.
You know what I mean? I would have absolutely no problem at all. Let me
Nope.
and by the way, I love Dansby Swanson. I am now a Brave. He's locked in for the long haul there.
Has to.
Yeah.
He's the
Oh,
number
yeah.
one overall pick.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a Braves fan.
You're a Bravos fan.
Yeah.
Let's
Congrats,
go.
hey, congrats.
Good pick.
Hey, we're in the middle of a little bit of a scandal, I've heard, off the field, but I mean, we're going to have to get through it, obviously.
Yeah, hey, World Series champions.
Yeah, we're fucking champs, dude. What are you going to do about it? We got the piece of metal. Rob Manfred called it. No big
Chipper
deal.
Jones.
Me and fucking Dansby Swanson, yeah, we're taking BP left-handed together.
Yeah.
He's a free agent after next year, but they'll sign him.
Have to.
Oh, fuck, if I know my Braves, like I think I know my Braves, we're going to lock down Dansby Swanson. That guy's ATL through and through. He wants that deal. Give him that deal now.
Yeah, from Georgia.
Give him an ice cream machine. You give him all this other shit. Give him a fucking $200 million.
Right now.
Why not?
I know.
Do it.
They need to bring Bobby Cox back, too.
Yes. Ooh.
I would love to get the Cox back in there.
Yeah. He's a beast.
Yeah, he is. Robert
Maybe
fucking
Deion.
Well, if Deion could still play, I would like him to be back on the Braves as opposed to anywhere else because you would like to have Deion Sanders on your team, I think. I think that is just something in most. And speaking of on your team, here's a man that had to craft.
Oh, no.
Here's a man that had to craft a team one time in Cleveland when he was a general manager for the Browns. He's been a coaching assistant, coaching advisor for the New England Patriots. He's an author. He has podcasts. He does everything. And he's the guy that we call on to not only say, Hey, Paisan, how's your family? But also, whenever there's a contract situation that he's probably been through before, even though we might not have heard of it publicly, he's the guy to come on and maybe explain some shit like what's going on in Cleveland with OBJ. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Lombardi.
Yeah, Lambo! How we doing? Good to see everybody. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Lombo, how's your family?
We're good. Doing good. Got the Lombardi Bowl this week, Pat. Got Carolina, the assistant quarterback coach at Carolina, playing my other son, who's the wide receiver coach at the New England Patriots. So this is going to be a tough one this weekend. This will be hard.
Yeah, the family will be split, but in the end, you guys will come around some gravy, and especially going into the holiday season.
Well, somebody's going to win, so that's a good thing. Last week we were 2-0, which was a good thing. So we'll see how this goes. I'm looking forward to it, but it's my wife that I'm most worried about.
Okay, so the Lombardi Bowl has been overshadowed a little bit this morning because Matt Rule came out and said they coached at the Senior Bowl. Mac Jones just a couple days removed from a national championship. He's out there practicing. He said they were throwing a lot of words at him and everything like that, and they knew within 5 or 10 minutes they spent with him that he was potentially going to be a guy. You could see how intelligent he was the first day. We put a lot of install in, a lot of words in just to see if they could recite it, and you could see pretty quickly he had a feel for the game. He had some moxie, and he was really, really intelligent and accurate and could throw the deep ball at a high level. He's just got the juice. Spending time with him, you could tell.
Yeah, I mean,
that back up. You could tell how he loves football. He just won the national championship game, and he's out there practicing with us. This is via NESN.com. And the thought is, Matt Rule said that and thought that, and after the trade was made by the 49ers, everybody assumed it was Mac Jones. Then all of a sudden, Trey Lance is the number 3 overall pick, and Mac Jones slides past Justin Fields even, that gets traded up to Chicago. Was this something that Matt Rule is just like, after you think he's bullshitting about this, or do you think this was the overall narrative, and how did everybody miss on him that early, and how did the Patriots end up with this guy?
Well, I think a lot of it was perception. You know, I think what killed Mac Jones more than anything was that picture of him after the game smoking the cigar with his shirt off. I think that, I mean, that was probably the worst picture of all time. Like, how can this guy be an NFL player with a body like that? You know, it's like, seriously. Yeah, and it was remarkable, right? I mean, Swaddle and Smith, both of the top receivers said, "Oh, he's better than Tua." They weren't even prompted. They said he was better than Tua. He was getting endorsements without ever trying to get a political campaign going. So I think a lot of it was that picture, Pat. I really do. And the fact that he came out of nowhere. Nobody expected him to do this. Nobody expected him to be this kind of player and have this type of success so quickly. So, I think what Matt said was true. And look, I think the quarterback position is really an instinctive position. I think it's when your mama lifts you from the crib, either you are or you're not. Like, it can't be trained. You have an instinct to you, And this kid has it. Like, some guys, we see these guys with great arms and they have no feel to play the position. It's a crib thing. It's a crib thing. And Mac Jones, when his mama lifted him from the crib, he was a quarterback.
Hell yeah! Lombardi, let's flipping that and using that for another player. What do you think Odell Beckham Jr.'s mom thought when she lifted him from the crib or the womb? And what do you think they're doing right now in Cleveland? What are they talking about with his agent?
It's all about money, right? They're saying, like, look, we'll let you go, but we want money back. I mean, this is always to follow the money, right? Like to me, I said this 2 days ago. I tweeted it out. I said, look, just cut the guy. It's like free Ferris Bueller, free Odell. Just let him go. Like, he's only going to cause more disruption to your team. He's not going to help you win. He hasn't helped you win in a while. He hasn't helped you win since he got into Cleveland. Let's be real honest. He hasn't been the same player since he left New York. He hasn't. I mean, that's just fact. He's dropped way too many balls. I learned this a long time ago. Ozzie Newsome, the great tight end. When he first left pro football, he came up to join us in the scouting department in Cleveland. And one day we're watching tape together, and he says to me, when I started dropping easy balls, I knew my legs were gone. And I was like, Oz, I don't understand that. Explain that to me. He said, when I started to drop balls that I typically caught, I felt like I had no juice in my lower body. And when you watch Odell, he drops a lot of balls that he typically should catch. And because of the injuries and because of his career, the way it's gone, I don't think he's got juice left in his lower body. I really don't. And that statement, Belichick and I still talk about that Ozzie evaluation, and that was 1992 when he told us that.
Fast.
And I see it with Odell. And I think he's just not been the same player. And I think with Cleveland, Cleveland's on the hook for the money, right? They're on the hook for the money no matter what they do. So why would Odell do anything but take all the money?
Quick question here, just a follow-up. Now, there is a video that's like 10 minutes long that OBS put out, Odell Beckham Sr., about Odell being open, and although he did drop some balls, I think there are still some plays. So that whole thing on whether or not he's still got juice in his legs or not will be literally determined here as the time rolls on. And we'll all be able to see it, I think. We'll all be able to know. He might go somewhere with a different quarterback, different scheme, and absolutely tear it up. I don't think any of us could have a clue at this point of what's going to happen, honestly. And I think that's not a good thing for Odell, because he was a lock that he's a superstar just a couple years ago. Now it's like we don't know what's going to happen. And I think that is what's holding up Andrew Berry in Cleveland, right? Because if they cut him, and I didn't know this, and I guess this is a rule that has changed, I didn't know that vets had to go through the waiver wire. That's kind of fucked up. So if they cut him and he gets picked up, which he's not going to, with $8.05 million left, there's no way that'll happen. They'll pay him that money, and then he'll be able to go sign somewhere else and double dip, right? And then if he gets picked up in the waiver wire, that's good for Cleveland, right? That's great news for them. That's what they're. Why didn't they trade him? Did they not know this was potentially coming? And do you think this has been handled how you would handle it looking back?
Nobody wanted to trade for him because nobody wanted to look. Let's go back to Von Miller, right? Von Miller got traded because Denver paid $9 million for a second and a third round pick. That's really the transaction. Denver paid $9 million and they got a second and a third round pick because they were going to cut Von Miller at the end of the year. They were going to pay Von Miller $9.5 million all the way through. So they traded him for a second and a third round pick. They spent $9 million for a second and third. It's a good deal for Denver. It's a good deal for the Rams, assuming he can play at a better level. Okay, so that deal. Odell, nobody was willing to pay. Nobody wanted to take on the money. So Cleveland was going to have to pay it, and they were going to get no compensation for him. So why do we trade him? Okay. Now here's what happens on the waiver wire. If you're a vested veteran and you after the trading deadline, you must go through the waiver wire. But your contract the following year becomes null and void, meaning that you become a free agent at the end of the year. Okay, so it isn't like they assume your whole contract. You become a free agent. So even though Odell's on the books at $17 million next year, he would be a free agent. But in perspective here, Odell's going to be a free agent next year anyway. The Browns are going to cut him at the end of the year. So they couldn't get any compensation for him. They're on the hook to pay him, and I'm sure they're deciding, should we just keep him? Should we get rid of him? And then Odell Sr., who I got to take the class he took in computers because I don't know how to do what he did. That's just how he put together that video. I mean, I'm in all of it. I really am. I don't know how the hell he did it. I don't know how to do all that Snapchat.
Yeah, he posted it sideways. He's a good follow on Instagram. I think that's why it got so many eyes, and I assume somebody potentially edited it for him. But the fact that he's put that out there, everybody assumes, okay, Odell probably feels the same way as OBS, OBJ probably feel the same exact way, and then Baker comes out and says, like, any conversation would be good, let alone an apology, and is he hurt? No, but he's surprised. So it's like, if that video's out and OBJ's ghosting Baker, you could see how Baker's potentially, like, in a whole different place, and you don't need that type of thing in your locker room. So Andrew Berry, by excusing him, is trying to eliminate that immediately before deciding what to do. Is that what's going on?
I think he should just cut him. I don't know. I don't know what the conversation is because the agent's basically saying to Andrew Berry, Andrew, you owe me the money. Either you let my guy in the building or cut him. That's the conversation. And Andrew, I don't know what he's trying to get out of it. He has no options. Andrew has no cards left to play. He can't fine him for conduct detrimental. That would be he can't do that. That was the father who did that. It wasn't him. So he can't fine him for that. There's really no card Andrew has to play other than he doesn't want him around the team. And if you don't want him around the team, then let him go. Let him go to somewhere else. Let him go to New Orleans. New Orleans would take him. They need somebody to replace Michael Thomas. And Sean's good at dealing with guys with these kind of personalities. Sean Payton's very good at dealing with it.
So what could the Browns, are they possibly trying to say, hey, let's restructure your deal to pay you half of your salary and then we'll cut you so then someone could claim him? Like, what are they trying to do?
Yeah, I think that's what they're trying to do. I think, but they have no, but Odell has no reason to cooperate. He's going to get the money no matter what. It's guaranteed. It's guaranteed that he gets the money. So he has no reason to take anything less. He has there's no, and then if you don't want him, just cut him.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be claimed though, right, Mike? No. Odell, he wants to become a free agent.
No one will claim him. Because if you claimed him, you take Cleveland off the guarantee hook. If you claim
Cleveland, but if they somehow talked him into it, if they somehow talked him into reducing his salary, would someone claim him?
Yes.
They might, but then why would he take less money? Why would
he won't? It's a non-starter, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, it does. You're in the.
Get out of there.
He's in the perfect position. If he wants to get out of there, then cut me. Either let me play or cut me.
Okay, let's move on from that. Let's talk about another general manager that's potentially making some waves. Old Les Snead, I guess, was gifted a mug from his kids. It said, fuck those picks or fuck these picks or something like that, which is a meme on the internet. Les Snead, obviously the general manager of the Los Angeles Rams, who don't have a number 1 overall for the next 7 years. They made plays to get Matthew Stafford. They just gave up picks for Von Miller. They've done this for years and years at this point. Jalen Ramsey, even they have loaded up on big-time players and said, we'll let you all figure out the draft. Once those players get good, then we're going to want them over here in L.A. Why? And I heard him speak in a video, and it sounded like he was defending like the power of picks, where his actions, though, are I think pretty much in the same alignment of me and AJ. It's like, fuck these picks. Like, legitimately, you have no idea what you're getting, especially if you have a window to win a Super Bowl. But it sounded like Les Snead didn't want to be the guy that's known as somebody that doesn't like the draft. Why would that be? Why would he not just own the fact that this is what they do? And do you see this becoming a blueprint for a lot of other teams to try in the future?
I think he's just trying to keep his scouting staff happy, right? I think he's just trying to make his scouts feel like they have some value, right? When he knows that they've gone all in. I mean, this is no different than the scene in Rounders where, Matt Damon went all the way in on the thing. He knew that the guy was licking the cookie and he didn't have a good hand. He just went all the way, So I think they see Stafford's time. They see, they get Von Miller. Think about this. They have Leonard Floyd, Von Miller, and Aaron
Donald, Jesus.
Aaron Donald. I got my Aarons all screwed up. But anyway, they got Aaron Donald inside. So what's the number one thing you want to do as a defensive front? If you can rush 5 and get that offensive line to block one-on-one, you're going to win a matchup, right? One of those 3 guys are going to win the matchup. And I think that's where the Rams are. They're going to rush 5. They're going to get a one-on-one with Donald. They're going to get a one-on-one with Floyd or one-on-one with Miller, and they feel like they're going to win the matchup, and all they got to do is hold on for a little bit, and they got a chance to improve because their defense hasn't been playing to the level that we thought they could play to. So it's a move that they made. They give up a low second because they're going to be picking in the 20s. We know that. A low third. They're going to be picking in the high 60s. So they give up very little. But for Denver, it gives them arsenal to potentially go get a quarterback next year.
Why isn't everybody doing that? Just sorry about that, AJ. Why doesn't everybody do that?
Because I think it's because teams are really reluctant to take on the salary. Teams are reluctant to give away the draft picks. They know the draft. The Rams are the old '72 Washington football team with George Allen. They're the over the hill. They don't want draft picks. That team never wanted draft picks. Remember when? I don't. Remember when Joe Gibbs first got to Washington? His first pick was Don Warren in the 5th round. That's how much Washington valued draft picks. So, they don't value them because they want to win right now. And they don't mind spending money. And look, this is a deal where they didn't spend money. They spent $500,000 on their cap, and they gave up a 2nd and a 3rd round pick. And for Denver, they bought a 2 and a 3 for $9 million.
Mike, how much do you think outside forces like your fan base and the media affect these front office people making these decisions?
Oh, I think it's really the salary caps affects these decisions more than anybody. The media, I don't think, really plays into it. I think I think it's the salary cap. I think, Green Bay probably wanted to make a trade, but Green Bay couldn't make a trade because they couldn't find a way to make the deal that satisfied themselves in terms of what they were going to have to give up to get somebody, right? So let's take Evan Ingram, the tight end for the New York Football Giants. He's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. The Giants know if they don't re-sign him, he'll go in the compensatory pool and they'll get at least a 3rd round pick. So somebody's got to offer him something better than that if they want to trade him. If you're Green Bay, do you offer a 2 for this guy knowing he's only going to be there for a year? It becomes that's the game that's being played on trade deadline day, and that game really ends up being a lot of conversations and no trades.
Go ahead, Ty.
Michael, speaking of the Packers, all the bullshit with Aaron Rodgers aside, with him not playing on Sunday, the line jumping up the way it does, do you think Jordan Love and the Packers still have a pretty good chance to beat the Chiefs? I mean, they haven't looked great, but obviously not having Rodgers is huge.
I mean, look, Matt LaFleur is the first coach to 40 wins in the National Football League as fast as he did it, and I think number 12 had a lot to do with that. I mean, there's no player, you talk to any bookmaker, there's no player that determines the line more than Rodgers. And I think this was very much the indication
so
of
it's MVP. That's MVP, right?
I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, look.
7 points, most valuable player.
We're going to find out how good of a coach Matt LaFleur is without 12 in the game. I mean, he makes everything go. He makes it all go. I mean, he checks him into the right play. He throws the ball with precision accuracy. He makes you defend the width and the length of the field. Plus, he can move around in the pocket. And he subsidizes a defense that has some holes in it. You know, so he, as John Madden once said, he's the deodorant that covers up all the sins. And the line reflects that. I mean, do you think LaFleur would have won 40 games without 12?
Yeah, he sins. He lied. He lied. He misled. That whole thing. It's insane to see that, though, because Dak Prescott is ruled out for a game. It moves like a 1.5 or something like that.
6.
It went
from +3 to -3 to +3.
Oh, never mind. I'm completely full of shit.
But no, I think
completely full of shit.
Leader, I think this is really nobody moves the line like this guy does. In fact, that line was messed up when that game opened up. Diggs will tell you that game was up. There's no way Kansas City should have been the favorite in that game. Green Bay.
Did you guys jump on that? Did we get in on that? How come I didn't see a tweet from anybody? Hey, what's going on?
Green Bay opened up. I think Kansas City opened up a 2.5-point favorite on Sunday night, and then when it came out, it flipped, and so there was no way. In my power rankings, I had Green Bay should have been a 4-point favorite in the game. Ooh. There's no way. There's nobody's looking at numbers, and the way the Chiefs have played the last 3 weeks offensively, there's no way the Chiefs should have been favored in that. I know they were playing at home, and they want two-way betting on both sides, so they were going to make it, and eventually got to be a pick'em. It would have been a pick'em game before the news came out.
How do you view it now?
I view well. If I had any faith in it, look, I don't think Patrick Mahomes is playing good right now. I think right now he's struggling. I don't think his confidence is there. He doesn't look happy. I think the way they're playing, the way the safeties are playing, the Chiefs, how deep they are. They want to take Tyreek Hill out. The offensive line hasn't played well. I've never seen an offense that gets bored with 10-yard gains like the Chiefs do. They get bored. They get bored. So I like the Chiefs, but I don't have any faith in the Packers without 12 under center.
Go ahead, Connor.
Lombardi, what did Stephen Gilmore mean when he said he didn't like how the Patriots handled his injury? Is that having to do with him being put on the PUP list when the season started? And also, why wouldn't the Patriots just keep him if he was comfortable playing on his one-year deal and then going into free agency?
You know, I don't know the answer to that. I don't know what happened with the medical on his. Maybe it was the second opinion. Maybe it was initially when he was first treated for the injury. That I don't know. I think they felt like if they could get rid of that salary off their cap, it cleared them up for next year. And they didn't feel like he was going to play this year. That's the only thing I could think of. But certainly they need him. I mean, they do need him. J.C. Jackson missed practice again today with the flu. They could use a corner on that team.
And he still got it, by the way. Walked right up to Phil Snow, defense coordinator for the Panthers, said, give me Pitt. This is your first game here? Give me Pitts. Yeah, I'll just take him. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and that's what at his best, Pat. When Gilmore doesn't have to worry about whether I'm in cover 2, whether 3, whether I'm 1 buzz, what am I in? You know, when he could just say, you got that guy, he's really good.
Well, I don't know why Phil Snow wouldn't do it, especially in that 3-3-5 that they're running over top. Go ahead and get rid of a guy. You got 10 other people. Go ahead and run your shit. Go ahead, Dix.
Lombo, it seems like the books are begging us to take the Chargers and the Cardinals as short dogs on the road against the Eagles and Niners, respectively. You taking the bait on either of those?
You know, when that line opened up, I thought it was light when the Chargers were 2.5 dogs or 2.5 favorites, and then now it's moved to Philly. I don't understand why it's moving to Philly. What has Philly done? Because they beat Detroit? You know, seriously, what has Philly done, and can Philly stop a good quarterback?
Detroit stinks, dude.
Awful.
Come on. Stinks.
Worst team ever.
All right, last question. Hey, before we got to let you go here. Tonight's game. What are your thoughts? You like
I think anytime a young quarterback plays, and you get a first exposure to him, the second game's the hardest game because teams now have tape on you. And he threw a lot of underneath yards. He had over 200 yards after the catch in the game against the Bengals. I think it'll be a harder for him this week. I would take the points in the Jets, but I think it'll be a 7-point game. But I think Mike White will struggle a little bit more. I'm just not sold the Colts defense is good enough.
Can I show you this risk-free same-game parlay that we're rolling with tonight? I will be in the house, so that's something to think about. The same-game parlay that we're rolling with tonight, Carson Wentz over 225. Michael Pittman Jr. with no T.Y. Hilton over 70 yards. Jonathan Taylor to score 2 touchdowns. Okay, hey, we're going to need one there.
Yeah.
Because they check out if they're handling the ball, I think, in a lot of touchdown scoring things. But now that he's the player of the month, and it's been a lot about not getting him the ball, maybe Jim Irsay sang a song in the park to Frank Reich about giving John Taylor the ball whenever it's goal line situation, and the Colts win by 5.5. So when you said 7 there, that was great news for me. How do you feel about this?
I like it. The one thing I would add is I would add Jonathan Taylor's receiving yards into this because I think he's going to catch the ball in the backfield.
Okay. By the way, I would like to let you know the council had a meeting this morning. Jonathan Taylor's receiving yards were very much a conversation because normally he gets about 3 catches. In their screens, he has over 100 on some of them, and he has a negative day on some of them. So we just said we'll take that out because we don't know. But we do know he's potentially going to score on one of those, which is great news.
I think they're going to after they watched my man in the red zone last week, Carson Wentz. I think that this offense is going to run through Jonathan Taylor tonight.
Fucking go! Yeah, we need Carson to throw though.
That's right.
Still need Carson to throw. We can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
Writer for the Daily Coach, the GM Shuffle podcast, the Lombardi Line host, former GM, now author, TED Talk giver, ladies and gentlemen, Michael Lombardi. You know Lombo at all?
I don't. Nice to meet you, though.
He's gone already.
He's gone. He didn't meet you.
That's nice.
What's that all about?
I don't know.
You guys get along.
You guys would get along very well. Do you know anybody in the sports world? Because you're an actual journalist person, right?
I know some people.
Who?
I mean, they're older people who don't play anymore. I mean,
no, it's talking. I'm talking about in the commentating world, the sports commentating world.
Yeah, Mike Tirico.
You know,
Italian Mike.
Italian Mike. Oh, Paisan
I went
Mike.
to college with Mike.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, cute, huh?
Really?
Yes.
You're an Orangeman.
How about that?
That place stinks.
No, it doesn't. It's
Orange.
actually
Just
awesome.
orange now, right?
Yeah, just orange. No Orangeman. Orange.
I'll never
Syracuse,
forget
orange.
first game of my college career
Yes.
in Syracuse in the Loud House.
Yep.
Whatever it was called. It was an ABC game, and J.R. Haas. Do you know who that is?
No.
Fucking baseball player, first round draft pick, the Pittsburgh Pirates. Why don't
Oh,
you
that guy, yeah, from the Pirates.
why don't you learn baseball?
Come on.
Just
Come
a little
on,
bit.
Cole. Come on.
That guy from
I mean,
West
you're
Virginia.
talking like-
He's from Nitro, West Virginia.
Who pays attention to the Pirates?
Oh, baseball fans.
I mean, unless it's Andy Van Slyke and Barry Bonds.
Anyways,
Jason Kendall.
Jason Kendall. Let's go.
Jay Bell.
Yep. Juan
Anyways.
Marichal, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Willie Stargell, Parker.
Sure.
Okay, thanks.
Omar Moreno.
All right,
We're talking about the Lot House.
We're talking about J.R. Haas.
So, by the way, Syracuse in 1987, I actually called the game. Syracuse beat West Virginia in the final game of the season to go 11-0 and to head into the Sugar Bowl and almost beat Auburn. They tied them because Pat Dye kicked a field goal with 4 seconds left. They would have won the national championship. Just a little note.
Shout out to Pat Dye. dude.
Sucked ever since.
Major Harris was your quarterback.
That's the Major Harris, a baller, cool guy. That was literally 34 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
Yeah.
But anyways, the day that we went up there, J.R. Haas
That was like 20 years ago.
gave
But
this speech, 87, 34.
I'm talking about you when you went up there.
Oh, yeah. It was a long time ago. I'm getting old now, yeah. Which even more so, to your stat there. But J.R. House spoke to the team the night before.
Yeah.
Because he was with us. He was a freshman, technically. So he hurt his shoulder or something in baseball. And he was able to still play football in college. So he came and played for West Virginia. He went to our practices, our meetings, everything. Got rehab from John Spiker, who was an incredible physical therapist at West Virginia and everything like that. And I think he didn't know whether or not he was going to get healthy enough to go back to baseball or he was going to do the football thing because he was an incredible high school football player. Really cool dude, by the way. Incredibly cool guy.
What position in football?
Quarterback.
Yeah, okay.
Quarterback. He gave a speech to the team the night before the game, though. And he took Syracuse a bunch of oranges. And he took a baseball bat and he said, "This is what I think of them." At the end of it, he threw it up and he still had it. I mean, he made, and then he started pounding more oranges.
Big Mike.
Yeah, it was at that day I decided orange is the dumbest mascot in the history.
Uh-huh.
And that's the school you went to.
Little cold trivia. My first job offer out of college that I did not take was to be on the Mountaineer Radio Network.
Really?
Wow.
With Tony Caridi.
Tony Creed's still doing it.
Yes. And I had a job offer right out of school to go work there, and I ended up going to Chapel Hill instead.
Oh, come on.
Morgantown would have toughened you up a little bit, but Tony Caridi's still doing it.
Yep.
It's a great day to be a Mountaineer, wherever you may be, is his tagline. I think he now owns
Another
everything.
Syracuse alum.
Tony Caridi.
Yes.
That could have been you, Cole.
Yeah,
Still
worst
in
mistake of your
Morgantown.
career.
Yeah, terrible mistake. I could have been calling football games.
It's a
at
big
West Virginia
broadcasting
right now.
cult there at Syracuse.
Yeah, and same with Northwestern as well, right?
Oh yeah, journalism.
Journalism's there and broadcasting.
Well, journalism, I guess, is Syracuse too, but Northwestern. Is
Ohio
real.
University's big on it.
Yeah.
Peter King,
Yeah,
Matt
but
Lauer.
nobody
Oh,
matches
Peter
Syracuse.
King.
Nobody matches Syracuse.
Scott Hansen.
Peter King and who?
Matt Lauer both went to Ohio.
You're a guy.
Listen
You're a
to me.
fucking guy.
That's the only reason why you brought up Ohio
No,
University.
my dad went there too.
He's living in it.
Pistol
Pistol.
Hawk, Matt Lauer, Peter King.
If you want a name drop, Ted Koppel, Marv Albert, Bob Costas, Sean McDonough,
Yeah, we-
Mike
That's hurt none of
Tirico,
these
Yeah.
people.
Ian Eagle,
Syracuse.
Adam Shine, Michael Cole, Syracuse.
Bill Cosby.
Whoa.
Who went to Temple?
Oh, that's Temple.
Dick Clark.
Do you think Jim Boeheim killed that guy?
Let's get some
What do you think?
39
Wait,
there
we go to break.
Wait, we need an answer.
Listen, we were talking about
Syracuse.
We were talking about Syracuse for way too long for that not to come out.
I was waiting. Yeah, I was waiting.
Do you?
All right, we're back in 4 minutes here. We'll answer some phone calls and wrap up this beautiful, risk-free, same-game parlay Thursday Night Football Thursday with Michael Cole in the studio. What a day it's going to be remembered as when the history books are written. What a show we're about to wrap up with. Let's go. Yeah. See you then. Did you hear everything that was being said whenever you were potentially...
Just from you.
Oh, so you did hear it. Yeah. Okay, so let's address it.
Hold on.
All right.
You can be a hater.
No.
And you can
Whoa.
change.
Carson.
You can change. We can change.
No,
your opinion.
at the moment I was at, okay, Carson. You know, with the Daily Show, the live Daily Show, you know, we can potentially get referred to as prisoners of the moment. You probably did hear me say some things. That was at a much different time.
Backtrack, Lily.
No,
It's cool. We're here face to face. You can change. People change, all right?
By the way, you are much bigger than I thought you were. Oh, yeah. When Jalen gets drafted there, was that the beginning of it all? Was there a miscommunication? What happened between you and Doug? Because they were saying it was fractured beyond repair.
Yeah.
What happened there? Is all of that accurate? Is that all kind of getting blown out of proportion?
Yeah.
And where did it start?
For one, I don't like to ever come out and say reporters aren't telling the truth because I don't. But
Orlovsky does it.
I'm not. I'm not going to dispute every report that's out there. You know, the way the season went obviously wasn't ideal. When Jalen was drafted, that had no bearing on me. I trusted the organization. I signed that contract. You know, I was devoted to them, and I felt like they were devoted to me. So I trusted the pick. You know, that had no bearing on my confidence or my abilities. You know, the season unfolded not how I would have liked it. Personally, I could have played better. We lost a lot of games at the end and just didn't fall into place the way we wanted. But there's a lot to learn from it, you know, as a man, as a player, and all those things. And, you know, I have still a lot of respect for Coach Peterson, and I think without a doubt those reports are very exaggerated. Like I said, I don't hear a lot of them. They come to my attention from my agents or different things.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of respect for him, and it was unfortunate for everybody and how the whole thing kind of just went down.
There was a couple still shots that made its way around where you and Doug Peterson appeared to be giving each other a nasty look.
I saw those.
It's not true.
Not true at all.
Oh, you were not saying, I wish you died.
I don't even think I was looking at him in those shots. So I did see that. I'm like, of course, they're going to play this one up. They're gonna make a story out of anything. That's how it is. So, but yeah, that's not true at all.
Okay, so I'm happy to hear you weren't giving Doug Peterson death looks. Like you never thought like, oh, football isn't for me. Like there was never a thought where I don't like football anymore. Or I don't want to be in this bullshit league anymore with this business. There was never a thought like that.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. The way the season went, I mean, it was frustrating. And
People
so
have those moments.
that's why I stepped away, and it almost rejuvenated me. You know, it's almost like last year pissed me off so much. I want to come back in a different way and do everything I can. I am thrilled to be here and to have this new start, new opportunity. And community seems amazing. Fan base seems amazing. Like we said, it seems like the perfect fit.
How are ya? I'm Roman, a men's health brand that can dance very well and make you the best you possible. Are you suffering from male pattern baldness? Dahn, we got something for that. Herpes. See ya. Premature ejaculation? Gone. No more coming too quick. Allergies as well. And that's not all. We have clinically tested supplements for everything, including erectile dysfunction.
Come on!
Bye-bye! GetRoman.com/Pat. Be the best you possible.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
There is no better feeling than breaking free and going untouched into the end zone. Ain't that right, AJ?
Yes, that is correct. Is this for the bidet or the Roman get hard at?
There's no Roman ads today, okay? There is only a conversation about something I've never done. Have you ever picked sixth and been untouched in the end zone, yeah?
No, not in the NFL.
How about in college, though? Yeah. Centerville, yeah.
What?
How's it feel when you're just pulling away from people, got the ball in the hand, and all you see is pay dirt? Oh. How is it? It's pretty cool?
Yeah, it feels pretty good. The first thought you get when you cross that goal line is, man, I need to get a free bidet sent to my house.
Well, not only that, but also you probably think, oh, because I scored, we're kicking off, and I got to go play defense now after that entire sprint there. So where's the oxygen? But you're right. There's nothing like going untouched in the end zone. And this week's poll was defense and special teams only.
Wow.
The winner, as decided by thousands and thousands of voters, was Darius Slade Jr. for his pick six against the team that traded him away for
Hell yeah.
a bag of balls, the Lions.
Hell yeah. Miss you, Darius.
Congrats to Darius Slade Jr. And we also are ready to have our fan winner, Cody Smith at C. Smith Money. You are now living that bidet butthole life.
Hell yeah.
If you missed out, you're not Cody Smith or Darius Slade Jr., two winners of the 9500 Soft Spa Bidet from Fluid Master. You can get your own Life of Luxury for your butthole at shop.fluidmaster.com and enter promo code PAT4930. That's PAT4930 for $49.30 off your Soft Spa 9500 bidet. It is going to cost money to put it in, too.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, listen, getting your butthole cleaned with a incredible stream of water from your friends at Fluid Master, the 9500 Soft Spa bidet. It's going to cost a little bit of money, and it does, but it makes your life a lot better.
Pat,
What?
Today's show is also brought to you by the good people at Thursday Boot Company.
Thursday.
A bootstrapped startup that makes the best handcrafted boots and sells them direct to customer at some of the lowest markups in the footwear industry. Thursday Boots tagline is highest quality, honest prices because they use some of the best materials like full grain leather, supple glove leather lining, and gold standard Goodyear welt construction. But Thursday Boot Company sells their boots at prices starting at just $149.
Wow.
Incredibly comfortable, versatile, and durable. Thursday boots are perfect for the people who understand quality and don't want to pay a high retail markup for a great-looking pair of boots that are built to last. Go to ThursdayBoots.com/Pat for free shipping, free returns, and free exchanges. So if you don't like the fit out of the box, you can just send them right back and get a new pair. That's ThursdayBoots.com/Pat.
Hey. Tone Diggs ain't never lied when he talks about these boots, too.
Hell no.
These Thursday boots are fucking great, aren't they? Tell them about it, Tone.
They are handcrafted. They are comfortable. They look good.
What?
I love them.
What? And you can get yours today, okay, at ThursdayBoots.com. AJ, I'd recommend you getting some. You hear me?
Add another finger to that thing.
We got the Urban Meyer Pint House. We got the Urban Meyer Pint House.
Jeez.
You're the one that said it.
Will you take that to the game tonight?
Oh, painted blue.
Imagine if the parlay hits this thing flying around behind the.
Here we go.
All right.
Something to think about.
I don't know. To be honest, I didn't know if we still had it, but this office keeps everything. What's going on, Paul? Have you enjoyed yourself today?
It's been great. It's been awesome. So much fun. I've been wanting to get here for a long time.
Well, we appreciate that you're here.
Yep.
Obviously,
I got up at 3 a.m.
Wow.
Today.
All right.
All right, here we go.
We get it, dude.
connected through Houston just to get here for the show. See, I came in person, unlike other people that are just joining us.
Con. Got him.
It's not a Zoom
Oh,
call.
you talking to me, Mike?
No, I'm just talking
Yeah,
out
he
loud.
is.
I like to,
Hey, it's all right. You're right. I'm not there today.
Fun fact, me and AJ have never been in this studio together.
Really?
No, it's messed up.
Never.
Really?
Never.
He's been invited too.
2
Many
years.
times.
Basically 2 years we're going here. Never been in the same studio, same time. Here.
Yeah, that's true.
We are
Yeah.
afraid he'll crash on the way here.
Yeah, anytime you get him on the road, he drives with both feet.
Oh, got it.
One for gas, one for brakes. And he also falls asleep while driving.
Oh, that's good.
He's like a known sleepy driver with 2 feet. So if we asked him to drive here on a regular basis, there is a 80 to 82% chance he's dead by next month.
It's not that long of a drive, is it?
3 hours. How long is it?
3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 hours it's not the problem. It's the angle of the sun, depending on where I'm going.
Oh,
That's what puts me to
got it.
sleep.
All right, let's go to the 5-hour energy phone line.
Fool.
He,
Yeah, maybe.
Not maybe.
have we gotten that fixed at all? Like, have you thought about that as you hit the road? Like,
What-
hey, maybe
how am I
I
gonna
shouldn't
fix that?
fall
We can
asleep.
tape your eyelids open.
And there's signs, by the way. People are tweeting signs. I know you see them if you go on Twitter. I'm not sure. Where there is clearly marked, like, please turn off your car while pumping gas, please.
Oh, I mean, come on now. Who would listen to that sign like that?
Everybody.
Let's go to Justin in
Move
Hawaii.
on. Talk football.
Hello.
You're a wacko.
You're an
Yeah.
all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, and you are a liability on the streets, both while getting pumped, while getting your gas pumped, and driving. That is something that is football.
No, I know. If I'm tired, I've pulled over and slept on the side of the highway for 20 minutes before.
20 minutes.
That's not real.
Absolutely, yeah.
Hey!
Pistol. My dad had to
This
stop
guy
30
stinks.
minutes from home one time.
Hey, that's a power nap. You know how? Yeah, you know your circadian cycle.
Yeah, circadian rhythm.
Your
Oh
circadian
my
cycle.
God.
You know that. That's a.
that's AJ Hawk sleeping on the side of the road.
Oh my God! Who's that? Is that the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers?
Holy shit.
Just powering up, kids. Don't worry about it. The fingers go pop up. Jeez. Let's go to Justin in Hawaii. Aloha, Justin.
Genetic.
Aloha, Pat, AJ boys, Maggle. How we doing?
Maggle.
What's that from?
JBL reference.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, I thought it was-
Hey, everything's good. Justin, how are you, dude?
I'm good, man. Seeing that you have one of the GOATs of commentary in studio today, I want to know how he's been so successful and consistent in doing commentary, and how do you both continue speaking and making your point when you have the voice of God speaking to you in your ear mid-sentence?
Great question, Justin. It's not just one person, by the way. There's numerous people in the ear. How do you do what you do? And how have you all, like, legit, I don't know how the fuck you do what you have to do. I could never do it. I tried it, and I was terrible at it. How is it just something you think you have a natural ability for? Or?
Well, I was trained for it, went to school for it, did a lot of it before I came here. But the bottom line is this: the secret to longevity, not only at WWE, but at any job, is to do what they want you to do. And I don't understand that concept. And a lot of people always reach out on social media or talk about it on the internet. Michael Cole should go into business for himself. He should talk about this and he should talk about that. Listen, if you work at McDonald's and they ask you to make a Big Mac and you make a quarter pounder, you're going to get fired. It's simple. So you ask me to do something, that's my job. I'm going to do it. I tell people at the end of the day, I'm an actor. And I'm given, we don't have scripts per se. Everything you and I do, Pat or ad lib, but we have a script basically that we have to follow. We're actors. And I've told people for a long time that I am a fake announcer.
Whoa.
For a scripted sport that uses a fake name. And that is how I've got through 25 years of my career.
Well, hey, you crush it with all three.
Thank you.
Hell yeah. It is, it is. AJ, you've watched, I think, because your kids are at the age where they're getting into it, and maybe because I'm there, you pop over to Fox every once in a while. And your text messages about what we have to do, basically, in there, are always so incredibly kind. It is a wild scene out there. I have so much fun, but Cole has to actually drive the ship.
I told Pat, I remember I texted you after the first one I watched that you guys did SmackDown when you were there. And I think the first thing I texted you, I was like, I don't know how you guys do this. Like, I try to put myself in your guys' shoes. I'm like, to be able to keep up and to like speak coherently through all of the chaos and what's going on would be, it seems like an impossible job to me. You guys are perfect at it, but it seems to me impossible. So for people to sit there like, oh, it's easy, it looks like a lot of fun, I'm like, that does not look easy to me. But
I will say, and I appreciate that, that is a really cool compliment coming from you, but like, It's very easy. Like, I'm just literally, he has to do everything. And it is, I'm very lucky, I think, because I've been a fan for so long. So I think I kind of I think I kind of know potentially where or what something's supposed to do. But they keep me as little informed as possible. And it's literally
by design.
Yeah, by design. It's like, hey, let's, and they'll even like some of the wrestlers will come over and they'll be like, probably just actually see how you react to this. Like, it's like, oh, that's hilarious. Like, that is a hilarious thing. But he actually has to drive the ship. So I want to let you know, I appreciate what you've allowed me to be able to do, which is basically just show up and have a great time.
Well, I mean, my job is, to tell the coherent story, to help get the superstars over. I mean, that's the bottom line. The superstars are the ones that are out there, taking bumps every week. In fact, our Raw roster is in the United Kingdom right now on a week-long tour. The SmackDown roster goes to Europe next week for a week-long tour. So these guys are working 5 days a week. They're giving their bodies for entertainment. They're busting their ass. And it's our job as commentators to make sure that we tell their story, that we help get them over, that we talk about the characteristics that make them great. And what I'm able to do is drive the discussion to where it needs to go, and then Pat, you just react off of that as a fan.
Happy Corbin stinks.
But it's stuff like that makes what we do fun, because you'll make that line, and then I'll have to come back and I'll try to protect him the best way that I know how. Not that you're doing anything to damage him. I mean,
no.
you're
You have to protect him in getting strong.
Exactly, and making sure that he's strong, and that's the fun of what we do. I have to direct traffic. I have to make sure that the sponsors are just like you do on your show. You have to make sure your sponsors are taken care of, so on and so forth. So
State Farm was a quick run. I don't think you've ever had that issue. We fucked that up. But Michael Cole, I appreciate you every Friday, and thank you for stopping in here. Now, the show will continue at youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show, but Chris Mad Dog with Mad Dog Unleashed will continue here on Sirius XM. AJ, what do you think is going to happen during that show? You think something good? I think something great's going to happen.
I would imagine he has some strong Odell Beckham Jr. takes.
Oh, yeah, especially with how that's all unfolding. Who knows what news will break when for him. Chris Mad Dog also with Mad Dog Unleashed. We'll be on the other side of this 6-minute break on Mad Dog Radio. We'll be back tomorrow with a Feel Good Friday, and we're going to be dancing on FanDuel. Yeah. I don't think I gave it enough.
What do you mean? No, you did.
At the end, in a sale on the send-off there, I don't think I gave the risk-free same-game parlay celebration tomorrow, once it hits tonight, enough energy and enthusiasm as it deserved, because tomorrow's going to be an awesome day.
Speaks for itself. They know. Multiple times throughout the show.
They know.
They know.
They know. They know.
Don't they, AJ?
Yeah, I got the Jets plus 10.5 tonight.
You're going to regret that, I think.
Yeah, maybe, Cole, but you know what? I'm going to ride the hot hand.
I'm good. I'm with you. I mean, of course, being a Jets fan, I hope they win. But
it's a lot of points, man. I just feel like it's a lot of points.
A lot of points.
Short week, primetime game. The Colts have been, great. The Colts have been bad. You have no idea what you're going to get. 10.5 is a lot of points. So this is the sports book saying, hey, we think they're going to be able to piece it together. And for all I care, as long as they win by 5.5, anybody can do whatever they want to do.
The Jets fucking stink. They're not going to cover 10.5 points. They are terrible at football.
Alt spread it, dude. Alt spread it.
Yes. Jonathan Taylor, the run game, the Jets blow. We cannot just think Mike White is going to do what he did last week. Listen to Lombardi. They got a week of film on this clown.
Not a full week. It's a short week. There's actually not that much film study during this. There's not that much change, but I guess they could see.
That is a good point.
What is good and what is not good. Yeah, that has scared me a little.
Bunch of dump-offs.
Yeah, dump-offs. Yeah. And Darius Leonard running around the field, sideline to sideline.
Darius Leonard might have 45 tackles tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. He definitely might, but also, let's see. You said before, Carson, he throws some balls that could be intercepted that are dropped at times. Let's see what happens.
Jets ain't going to catch him.
No way.
Yeah, I don't know.
He does throw some. Oh. Okay, it's second down now.
Yeah.
All right, I don't know why we're doing that on first down. We still got more on the other side, but I can't wait to see him live and in person. I assume it is an Electric Factory live.
Mike White,
too.
What's that?
Mike White live. I'm sure it's going to be electric tonight. Imagine if this game was at the Meadowlands, MetLife.
That place stinks.
Well, that place almost took the roof off of No, it actually did.
I'll tell you one thing though.
WrestleMania.
The Colts need to put them away early.
Don't let Mike White stick around.
They have to put him away early. The Jets do not score in the first quarter. Last week was the first time.
That's a good
scored.
piece of information.
Last week was the first week that they've scored in the first quarter. They don't score in the first quarter. Wilson couldn't get it done. And now, if the Colts can put them away early, then it's going to be a blowout. But if they let the Jets hang around to halftime, it's going to be interesting.
They can hang around until halftime. Your team fucking blows, Cole.
You
They're
guys
not
have Carson
gonna do
Wentz as your
anything.
quarterback.
Don't say you guys. I got Mac
I know, you got Mac
Jones,
Jones,
brother.
No, but you have a couple times, to
Yeah.
Diggs' point, you have appeared to be defending the Indianapolis Colts, which, by
Yes.
the way, hey, do what you got to do, dude.
Jets are at the top of the list. The Colts are number 2. So obviously, I gotta hate the Jets more than I hate the Colts.
Jets stink.
Jets stink. Beat them by 41 2 weeks ago.
Yep, you did.
But if Carson keeps throwing it left-handed, backed up in his own end, even Mike White, if he's only got to go 10, 15 yards, he'll score some points. That's
true.
Carson will do that.
Yeah.
Is Flacco still the backup for Mike White?
Oh, that's
No.
dangerous.
Yes, he is.
That's dangerous.
Oh.
And
Okay.
he's ready to go this week.
Footsteps can play still.
He was supposed to start this week, actually, until White had the game on Sunday.
I don't like the thought of Flacco coming in third quarter.
Not at all. Just chucking the rock.
Oh, my God. And with all these pass interference penalties,
Oh, yeah. It's built for him.
Colts have been living off of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and Flacco made a career out
Well,
of it.
that's what I'm saying. Flacco set the table for what
Jets
the
won
Colts
the game last week thanks to one. So, at the end of the game.
Yeah, that was a helmet-to-helmet call. That
Oh,
was
yeah, that's
horseshit.
right. You're right. No, you're right.
That was
bullshit.
terrible.
Like,
All right.
Can I ask Cole a question?
Absolutely.
Why do you say WWE the way you do?
I don't know. That's my accent. I
What does he
guess.
say?
WWE. It's awesome.
WWE.
He enunciates.
No.
How come it's not the,
WWE.
it's not the, it dropped the right? It's just WWE.
Yeah, because you can't say the World Wrestling Entertainment. It's World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE.
WWE.
Greeny said it that way too in the interview this
Yes, he did.
WWE or the WWE?
No,
WWE.
Well, that's because some people I think are just WE.
That's just Northwestern and Syracuse. They learn how to pronounce things.
Yes, exactly. They teach you that.
Clowns.
WWE.
It's more like a W.
WWE.
WWE.
Which, by the way, the W was properly named. Because if you put those two U's
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
right next to did you just? No.
Yeah. That's
No.
it. Yeah.
What a moron.
That's sweet.
So this is what happens at 3 o'clock.
That's awesome.
This is the show. This is the show.
That makes it cooler.
Yeah, hey. Learn something new every day.
Yeah, you do.
Exactly.
Let's go.
Have you
But
ever
what if you draw your
forgotten-
W's with a V look?
No one
Well,
does
it's
that.
evolved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You curve them. Have you ever forgotten a city like Hulk Hogan? Like, have you?
Superdome,
yeah.
brother.
I'm sure.
Welcome to Silverdale Brawlers.
I'm sure I have at some point, but I don't remember, honestly. I usually write it down on my piece of paper so I remember. The big thing is the arenas. Like, these arenas have such weird names now. Like, last week we were talking about that.
The Mohegan Sun Resort Arena.
The Mohegan
Jesus.
Sun Arena at Casey Plaza. I mean, as opposed to the Mohegan Sun Arena, and then there's American Airlines Arena and American Airlines Center.
Toyota Arena,
Yeah,
Toyota Center.
Exactly.
I fucked one of those up.
It was Toyota.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow night, I think we're at the Ford Center in Evansville.
Of course, Evansville.
Ford.
Hey, let's
Yeah.
go Evansville. It's
Big
going to be a
Evansville.
blast, by the way. What's going on,
Do
dude?
you guys purposely schedule like a few Mickey Mouse cities in a row, like you have the last few weeks, and then go back to the big cities? Or
I have nothing to do with that.
Jeez, Tony.
oh, I mean, fucking Wilkes-Barre and Evanston and
Who said
Wichita.
Wilkes-Barre is going to be... somebody took a massive shit on Wilkes-Barre last week.
I mean, you guys were like an hour east of
Was
LA.
that
You couldn't
you?
just go to LA.
No.
No, somebody told us that.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know what the worst city you've ever been to, but Wilkes-Barre is about to top it.
Hey, by the way, Ontario was
Wilkes-Barre,
sold
by the way,
out.
wasn't bad.
Ontario was sold
I'm
out.
not talking about the crowd numbers.
And
I'm
we're
talking
going
about-
and we're going to Staples Center again in
There you
December. So there
There
we
it
go.
is.
And also, all these crowds have been awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's not what I was talking about.
But it is crazy, the cities that have been chosen. It's like, okay, here we go. We're going out there. It's
but
been fun, though.
This is true, though. There are certain arenas in the country that can hold our set because we have a massive set. So certain cities don't have the capability of actually holding the set. So that's why we go to the same town maybe twice a year.
You ever just get completely lost out there on what's going on, where you're headed, where it's going, where it's been?
Not lately, because now I'm pretty much just on the road for SmackDown and pay-per-view, so it's a little bit easier. But back a few years ago when I was doing both Raw and SmackDown and pay-per-views, then it got, and then going to Orlando for NXT, then it was out of control. You didn't know where you were.
You forgot stories.
Yeah, you'd fly home Saturday and fly back out on Sunday, and then fly home Tuesday and fly back out Thursday morning. And
see, because you're so much in it, like Friday Night SmackDown comes, so much has happened since the last SmackDown. I have to do like a full, like, what happened last week type run before the show, because so much goes on. I couldn't imagine if you were running three different like Raw and SmackDown are basically two different. I don't even see the people that are on Raw. Yeah, it's two different companies almost. You calling those, all of them, I would have got so.
Well, that's why I always applaud the fans who know everything. Like hey, in 2008 at Extreme Rules, so and so beat so and so, and I don't. To your point, I don't remember last Friday night until tomorrow, when I can actually sit down and review what happened on the show last week, because there is so much that goes on during the week. Because my job isn't just to be an announcer on Fridays. I run a department. I'm heavy in the don't work out of the office but work out at home. But I'm involved in a lot of different things throughout the week. So Friday comes, and that's when I can actually sit down and figure out, okay,
like what, Mike? Happened. Are you scheduling matches? Like, what are you part of?
No, so I'm in charge of our entire announce team. So we have almost 30 people that work underneath me around the world, and obviously with that many people, there's always stuff going on every day that you have to deal with. People have lives,
travel,
personal issues, critiques. Working with announcers for Raw, working with announcers for NXT. There's just a lot of stuff that goes into the day.
And you're also not making the final decisions on any of it. Right?
Exactly. So it's some of the, I'll make some decisions, but a lot of the information goes to more higher ups, and then.
But you're the one that has to present it.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's a lot of shit. That's a management role, right?
Yes, there is. There's a lot to it.
It's crazy.
So, yeah, but.
I'll see you on Fridays, dude.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You ever think you'll move up out of middle management?
Yeah. Well, I want to move out of middle management. Period. No, I mean, I love it. The thing that I enjoy doing.
You
now,
love the company, though. I think that's the thing about Michael. You'll do whatever the fuck they ask. I think because of how appreciative you are, and that's very obvious.
Well, June will be 25 years on the air here. I want to make it 25 years because I don't think there's anybody, at least in our line of work, that's been on the air 52 weeks a year for 25 straight years.
Yeah, it's because you have to be a psychopath.
Yeah.
Nut job. Yeah, to be a maniac,
I enjoy it. I want to set an example for the people that are just starting on the team as well. But, WWE's given me everything in my life.
See that?
They have. They've given me everything in my life. And, I've put kids through college. My wife had a kidney transplant that was able to be taken care of thanks to this company. And, I want to give back to the company everything that it gave to me. Also, when we have a young announcers like a Vic Joseph, on NXT, or a Jimmy Smith on Monday Night Raw, or Corey Graves, or Byron Saxton, the whole, all those guys, I want to be able to give back to them a little bit. And help them along the way so they can become the next generation of the great announcers in WWE history. Because there's been very few that have been at the level that I'm at. You've got Vince McMahon, and you had Gorilla Monsoon, and you had Jim Ross, and then you had me. And now you're looking for that next person who's going to fit into that role.
And Cole's talking about play-by-play as opposed to just the color commentary role. That there has been a lot, but the play-by-play is telling the stories. Exactly. So that person is the storyteller. That is the voiceover. That is the driver of the show. And that,
well, they also ask you too. Why has Michael Cole been on the air for 25 years, or why was Jim Ross on the air here for 20 years? And it goes back to the old adage of when network news was so prominent in our lives, 60s, 70s, 80s, and into the early 90s. You had the same network anchor every single night, whether it was Brokaw, Cronkite, or Peter Jennings. And the reason that person was in that role every night is because when you sit, you got to remember too, back in the day in the 70s and 80s, there was
4 channels.
4 channels. So you would sit down at night and you would put on ABC News, and there's Peter Jennings, and he would be there every single night for you. So you began to trust him, and there was a trust factor there. And it's the same thing in what we do. There's a trust factor. Whether or not you like Michael Cole or you agree with how he calls commentary, what Michael Cole is presenting. You can trust that. You can trust that he's going to be able to handle the situation no matter what happens. And it's the same thing whether it's Joe Buck on Fox. Joe gets a lot of flack as well, but I think he's the best in the world at what he does because he's there each and every week.
Consistency. It's a comforting feeling as well as being able to execute your job at a different level.
Yep.
Do you ever see yourself working for like the OCW?
The what?
Office Championship Wrestling.
No, not at all.
Well, we wouldn't fucking hire you.
Yeah, that's right.
Clearly haven't seen
we wouldn't hire you.
I would call a match for that one day.
Well, we don't want you.
Have you seen
Too
the
late.
match?
How about that? You laughed in the face
Okay,
of
good.
CW.
Yeah, all right, great, whatever.
What's this all about, AJ?
Whatever.
You think?
I think he's justified. I don't think he should call him.
Shut up. Thanks, AJ.
You're not allowed to never
My
seen
guy right
a match.
Hey, Cole, though, people trusted
best
those old
stories.
school broadcasters. One of them took some stray bullets in a helicopter, right?
All right, listen.
Bill freaking
See,
Ding.
this is sports entertainment, though, where things getting a little bit blown out of proportion is completely acceptable. All right.
Do you like Romo calling games?
Yeah, I really do.
What?
Yeah, you
I do.
would.
What?
I do like Romo calling games.
No, I'm not saying that as a disagreement with you, but you seek out Romo's games on.
No, not necessarily. But I think that he.
You've seen clips. You haven't watched the whole game.
No, I have.
Just say it.
I have watched. I mean, obviously, you can't miss Romo if you watch the game of the week, right? And I'm unlike you guys, so I don't sit there on Sunday and put on the Red Zone channel and watch all the different games, right? Because I don't bet. I'm not into that like you guys are. So basically, what I do, if on a Sunday I'm watching football at home, right? I'm watching the game that's presented.
National games.
Yeah, the national games presented me. So I can't get away from Joe and Troy, and I can't get away from Nance and Tony. So Romo is different to me, and he came on, and he's a much different analyst, and he's ahead of the game almost, so to speak. And it's sort of like with Pat when he does SmackDown. He's different. He's changing the game in many different ways. And whether or not you agree with Romo or what he says or whatnot, he's really good at what he does.
Would it change your opinion if you knew that Romo was a fall down drunk and he makes fun of
Have
poor
you had
people?
to work with someone who's boozed up on mic next to you the entire time, like Nance does?
You say makes fun of poor people?
Yep.
Yeah, he did it. That thing. He said, "Hey, rich people, tell your drivers to wait. Poor people, ride home with the rich people."
All I care about is what Tony Romo does within those 3 hours of watching the game. What he does in his personal life, I don't want to get involved in that.
Yeah.
I punted.
Yeah, smart. But I do agree that when Tony Romo came around, he changed the game. That's why he got 17 million. That's good for everybody that's in that particular field going on. And I thought it's going to happen with me where people get sick of me. It's going to happen with Tony. That's why that's how they asked you the question, right? Is people kind of got sick of it, I think, and now with the stuff that came out from that's why Connor, who had new people that was at the event, that whole thing. I mean, it's just one of those. But for me, trying to be different is fascinating because I watch.
But you're not you personally are not trying to be different.
No, but it's also
you are who you are.
Well, I appreciate that, but you also had to make a decision to put me in there, right? So, for instance, football has been called one way forever, and it basically became after Madden left, and I think maybe some other people had personality. It became like people were calling surgery. Like it became like an actual journalism thing. Like, hey, we're going to cover this thing fair, balanced. We're not going to root for anybody. We're just going to call for what it is. Point out the negatives mostly. It became like a factory almost. Like everybody calling football. And I think WWE potentially in the same vein during the same time had the same ideas and started doing that. And every time I watched the game, I was like, man, these people are setting the tone for me watching the game with them. I think football's a celebration. I think this is like fun. Like watching a game is a fun thing to do. So the NFL, I think with Tony Romo coming in and getting excited and everything like that, I think they got a chance to see that. For me, I'm happy you guys have allowed me just to like have fun and enjoy it because AJ said that earlier we're perfect together or whatever. I am not perfect. I've fucked up so many times. I have fucked up so much. And you guys have remained like, hey, yeah, okay, but just keep going or whatever. And I'm very appreciative of that.
But that's my job as you're learning your role is to protect you when you do make a mistake, to make sure that people aren't talking about that and that it doesn't, stand out, that it's not a highlight. Oh, my God, Pat just screwed up. My job is to protect you so that doesn't become a thing. And I think that's really important, and that's why we're teammates. And I think one of the things that you did as well, Pat, is that you actually, before you became a commentator, actually had some matches. You actually trained to wrestle, and that helped a lot with your credibility in what we do because people know that you've taken some bumps and you've had some
main evented pay-per-views. Yeah.
Main evented pay-per-views, takeovers. But anyway,
what are you saying?
What are you saying?
Yeah.
But
what was that? What was that?
What do you say? I've main evented war games. I mean, that's.
And it was incredible, but I think that helped you. And I think that helped you with the fans.
I agree, by the way. And I think a lot of people potentially in the wrestling world didn't know if I was an actual fan or not. And then it's become pretty apparent, I think, like, oh, he kind of has probably followed along for a bit.
Well, and you say you make a lot of mistakes, but I feel like as the viewer, you don't actually know that. Like, you guys know that, but I don't think...
It's like watching a band. Like, you never know when the band will tell you they messed up 10 times, and I have no idea.
Yep.
But the other people that have potentially done the job that I'm doing know, too. So, like...
All 6 of them.
Yeah, you're right. But I just want those people to know that I understand that I have not batted 1,000 out here. You know what I mean? Like that's a real thing because I have a lot of respect and there's a lot of people that do great at what I'm doing right now. But it is nice that it feels like I'm very vastly different. And my time will end. I know that the time will end at some point. It'll run its course. But I appreciate the hell out of you. Thank you for coming in here today.
Thank you. It's great. I love it. And all you guys have been great. Seriously.
Next time, don't dress like a jackass.
Yeah. Next time, I'll wear my other flip-flops.
I mean, by the way, you've earned to be able to do whatever the hell you want. Next time, we'll just put a little garage on those things. Keep them in there. AJ, we appreciate you, buddy. Dansby Swanson, TVG Mike, all the callers, Michael Lombardi, all the boys, everybody that watched. Can't thank you enough. You all are the absolute best. We'll be back tomorrow whenever we're dancing on FanDuel's grave. Yeah. Get in on the risk-free same-game parlay. It is live right now on FanDuel Sportsbook. If you're in a state that we're in, come on. If we're not in your state yet, we're coming. And maybe find something legally to ride alongside of us so we can all enjoy the hell out of this because we've been close. We've been close. We've been really far away. We've been close. We've been close.
I was with you on the close one in the Brady game.
In the hotel lobby.
Yes.
The hotel lobby watching a TV that was this big.
Ordering a shot of Jack Daniels from some breakfast bar.
Yeah, it was a fascinating place, and then I had to go outside and yell at the phone. But tonight's the night we win.
Yeah!
Tonight's the night we ride.
Yeah!
Tonight's the night that FanDuel regrets the day that they agreed to do this with us. Risk-free same-game parlay. Let's go ahead and get it. Thank you all so much. We're back tomorrow for a Feel Good Friday. 15 minutes from now, Hammer Dahn will begin at youtube.com/Hammer Dahn. Great That's Hockey Talk last night by the boys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Shout out Weeksy.
And can't wait for SmackDown tomorrow night with you, Michael Cole in Evansville, Indiana. Let's go Colts tonight. Cheers.